Chapter 1051. When Qin Wentian saw that Jiang Ziyu was ignoring him, the might of his immortal foundation gushed forth. He grabbed out with his hand, traversing through space as a gigantic palm imprint directly blasted towards Jiang Ziyu. He knew that Jiang Ziyu definitely knew what he was doing, and as expected, at the instant the gigantic palm imprint slammed down, Jiang Ziyu lifted his hand and blasted out. Resplendent runic light circulated around his arm, penetrating through everything. That terrifying attack transformed into a long spear that slammed into Qin Wentian's palm imprint, causing it to explode. Jiang Ziyu didn't even frown as he continued comprehending. Jiang Ziyu is so powerful. Namfeng Xinga spoke when she saw this scene. The Jiang clan was one of the 3 supreme clans of the southern regions. They had the smallest population, and were also the most mysterious. However, their combat prowess was extremely high. Just like the Namhuang clan, the Jiang clan also had their own inheritances. This Jiang Ziyu, who came out to roam the southern regions, was most probably one of the most outstanding characters of the Jiang clan in this generation. Qin Wentian could sense the tyrannical energy radiating from Jiang Ziyu. At this moment, he could already confirm that this Jiang Ziyu most probably had a 5th-ranked king-grade immortal foundation that could be described as perfect. Such a character, among the holy maidens of the Southern Phoenix clan, only Namhuang Yunxi could stand shoulder to shoulder with him. The other holy maidens would find it hard to defeat him. This indicated that if the Namhuang clan didn't want to be suppressed by Jiang Ziyu in this generation, they had to let Namhuang Yunxi obtain the inheritance of the ancestral lands and become the holy successor. The might of his immortal foundation gushed forth. Qin Wentian radiated a tyrannical battle intent. It wouldn't be so easy for Jiang Ziyu to join forces with Namfeng Qingrua and obtain the inheritance of the ancestral lands. God's hand appeared. An ancient halberd appeared in Qin Wentian's hands. He abruptly slashed out explosively, causing the ancient halberd to expand explosively, becoming incomparably gigantic. It traversed through space, exuding an incomparably terrifying destructive might as it shot towards Jiang Ziyu. A terrifying immortal light gushed forth from Jiang Ziyu. His arm was like a divine weapon, shining with the light of armor. With a lift of his hand, a gigantic silvery white spear appeared, colliding with the ancient halberd. Thunderous sounds rang out unceasingly. The spear shattered unceasingly. However, the power of the ancient halberd also weakened unceasingly. When it slammed into Jiang Ziyu's arm, it felt like it had struck a divine weapon. With a thunderous boom, the ancient halberd shattered. Jiang Ziyu's arm was comparable to an immortal-ranked weapon. At this moment, Jiang Ziyu opened his eyes and stared in Qin Wentian's direction. His eyes were terrifying, as though they could see through everything. When he stared at Qin Wentian, a look of disdain could be seen in his eyes. Boom! A fearsome might gushed forth from Jiang Ziyu. His body glowed with a resplendent armor, exuding an incomparably sharp aura. He who was radiating immortal might was like a king among immortals. A fearsome energy converged in the air. Jiang Ziyu lifted his hand as a gigantic vortex appeared, transforming into an incomparably sharp long spear. He stabbed out with his spear, ignoring the distance between them, aiming for Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian had a solemn expression on his face. Fighting against Jiang Ziyu would be his greatest challenge in the Southern Phoenix ancestral grounds. This person wasn't simple at all. God's hand brought with it a violent might, capable of leveling everything. It collided with Qin Wentian's long spear, using force to break force. Jiang Ziyu's spear was as fast as lightning, and with a single flash, he was able to unleash over 10 spear strikes. In just an instant, this entire space was buried by his spear. Qin Wentian's body expanded in size, blocking Namhuang Yunxi who was behind him. His god's hand radiated boundless might, capable of toppling mountains and overturning seas, containing a might that could shatter the heavens and rend the earth. Roar! A thunderous roar rang out. A gigantic shadow clad in armor appeared behind Jiang Ziyu. This shadow was none other than a white tiger king, exuding an aura that could shake the heavens, capable of slaughtering everything under the heavens. The white tiger was a god of slaughter, the symbol of slaughter. Jiang Ziyu's spear swept through the heavens and earth. Every spear strike caused the white tiger to roar in rage, radiating killing intent that permeated the heavens and earth. The shadow of the white tiger pounced over, exuding a fearsome might. Qin Wentian's battle didn't stop. His immortal foundation manifested as numerous Zhenhou greater demons appeared within his halberd arts. The Zhenhou greater demons clashed against the white tiger, causing thunderous roars to echo out. Both of them were extremely ferocious demons. The white tiger symbolized slaughter, while the Zhenhou greater demons were able to slay true dragons, feasting on them after they were defeated. Spear and halberd collided, the white tiger against the Zhenhou greater demons. For a moment, the heavens and earth seemed to be collapsing. Even as they fought, they didn't forget to protect the people behind them. Namfeng Qingrua and Namhuang Yunxi weren't disturbed at all. They continued to focus on comprehending the parasol leaves as they continued upwards. These two are so powerful. Namfeng Xingge silently mused. She watched the battle between the two of them. Both of their combat prowess far surpassed her. One was a genius from the Jiang clan, while the other was a genius who rose up in the city of ancient emperors. The two of them had something in common. They had both obtained the top ranker of the Immortal Ascension rankings, and were characters with unparalleled combat prowess. Namhuang Yunxi is about to catch up to Namfeng Qingrua. Namfeng Xingge stared at the two holy maidens. There was no need for Qin Wentian to win. As long as he didn't lose and didn't allow Jiang Ziyu to focus on comprehending the parasol leaves, Namhuang Yunxi would win. Naturally, since Jiang Ziyu and Namfeng Qingrua entered the ancestral lands together, they wouldn't allow Qin Wentian and Namhuang Yunxi to have their way so easily. Rumble. And as expected at this instant, a terrifying light erupted from Jiang Ziyu. The armor on his body seemed to have shattered, and was being reforged. His entire body seemed to be formed from innumerable immortal talismans that contained terrifying might. When Jiang Ziyu attacked again, those immortal talismans descended from the sky, blasting towards Qin Wentian together with his attacks. Each of those immortal talismans contained supreme might, and as they bore down on Qin Wentian, the entire space seemed to be filled with them. These immortal talismans were like mysterious ancient characters that contained the great Tao of laws, as well as attacks of the great Tao. Buddhic chants could be heard in the air, akin to the music of the great Tao. At this instant, Qin Wentian was enveloped by the boundless might of the attacks. There was simply no place for him to hide. Jiang Ziyu's attacks were too tyrannical and sharp. Qin Wentian's entire body shimmered with a mysterious light, resembling ancient runes. His body seemed indestructible, sparkling and translucent, flawless. His god's hand exuded a heaven-shaking might, as well as a supreme demonic qi. The might of his perfect saint-grade immortal foundation enveloped him. With a roar of rage, primordial chaos swallowed everything, wanting to devour the boundless might of the attacks. He lifted his palms and attacked. The true Ho slaughtered everything, while the great rock ravaged the heavens and earth. At this instant, the destructive might of the two of them clashed madly, causing the entire space to tremble unstably. Jiang Ziyu's expression was as calm as ever. His eyes seemed to be able to see through everything, incomparably deep. Rumbling sounds rang out as he released his immortal foundation. Jiang Ziyu's immortal foundation floated in the air as many phenomena manifested around him. This was an immortal foundation that was close to perfection. This immortal foundation was actually an ancient Buddha, an undying ancient Buddha. In an instant, Buddhic light illuminated the heavens and earth, containing supreme might within. Buddhas aren't benevolent Buddhas. The Jiang clan cultivates Buddhas, but they aren't benevolent at all. Qin Wentian silently mused. This ancient Buddha might seem peaceful, but its might was extremely terrifying and dangerous to the extreme. There was a faint intent of slaughter within it, as though it wanted to prove its Tao through killing. Rumble. Light flashed as a supreme ancient imprint transformed into a gigantic palm imprint, capable of crushing the heavens and earth as it blasted towards Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian's immortal might gushed forth to the extreme as an immortal foundation appeared. This was also a flawless immortal foundation that floated in the air, circulating immortal light. This was a human-shaped immortal foundation that radiated immortal light. It was truly flawless. Boom. Above the immortal foundation, a destructive light radiated forth, as well as a suppressive might, transforming into a phenomenon of the immortal foundation. The light illuminated the area, destroying all the incoming imprint attacks. In the air, the destructive might was still there. The two of them were evenly matched. Jiang Ziyu's eyes gradually grew less calm. On the contrary, Qin Wentian's expression was calm. Namhuang Yunxi surpassed Namhuang Yunxi, climbing up step by step. If Jiang Ziyu didn't interfere, the position of the holy successor would belong to Namhuang Yunxi. The gigantic Buddha manifested a white tiger diagram. When Jiang Ziyu lifted his palms to attack, the killing god white tiger grew even more terrifying, resembling a mount of an ancient Buddha, exuding boundless killing might. Qin Wentian's expression was as calm as ever. That perfect saint-grade immortal foundation manifested numerous terrifying true phantoms that frenziedly attacked. Qin Wentian's body was gigantic. He stood there unmoving. No matter how Jiang Ziyu attacked, he couldn't make him retreat a single step. Boom! A burst of intense light erupted as Jiang Ziyu directly vanished from his location. He soared through the air and instantly appeared before Qin Wentian. His speed was so fast that no one could react to it. A killing god white tiger slashed down, exuding an indomitable killing might, wanting to destroy everything. Such a sudden attack was simply unblockable. Qin Wentian's immortal foundation radiated boundless light. The ancient halberd and terrifying greater demons suddenly appeared before him, suppressing him with destructive might. Terrifying destructive light circulated around him. Qin Wentian's god's hand stretched out, borrowing the power of his immortal foundation to unleash a supreme might that could suppress the heavens and earth. With a thunderous boom, Jiang Ziyu's body vanished. He stared at Qin Wentian, his eyes incomparably cold, even colder than weapons. It's almost impossible for anyone to establish a perfect immortal foundation at the first level of immortal foundation. Also, your god's hand is an ultimate art created by an ancient emperor. You have many secrets on you, and any one of these secrets can cause a calamity to befall you. Jiang Ziyu stared at Qin Wentian as he spoke. His eyes gleamed with wisdom, as though he could see through Qin Wentian. Your fifth-tier immortal foundation is at the king grade. How can ordinary people achieve that? Your innate techniques are also extremely powerful. Could it be that you have no secrets on you? Qin Wentian stared at Jiang Ziyu as he replied. The descendants of my Jiang clan roam the immortal realms. How many people would dare to touch us? Jiang Ziyu stared at Qin Wentian. Evidently, the ancient Jiang clan wasn't something the Emperor Qianbian could compare to. Their foundations were too deep. Even the Dong Shengshan Gate couldn't be considered anything in the eyes of the Jiang clan. What do you want to say? Qin Wentian asked. I don't need to contend for the inheritance of the ancestral lands. I want to invite you to my Jiang clan as a guest. I wonder if you are willing? Jiang Ziyu stared at Qin Wentian as he spoke. Chapter 1052. Qin Wentian stared at Jiang Ziyu. He didn't expect that Jiang Ziyu would suddenly change the topic and actually invite him to the ancient Jiang clan as a guest. However, Jiang Ziyu's heart was filled with unfathomable intentions. It was naturally impossible for him to go. He replied. Earlier you said that the secret on me would cause a great calamity to befall you. Now, you are inviting me to the ancient Jiang clan? Don't you find it laughable? If I joined the ancient Jiang clan, wouldn't I be at your mercy? I guarantee that if you are willing to go, I will respect you as a guest and treat you with the utmost respect. Jiang Ziyu smiled. His eyes flickered with a mysterious light, as though there was always a sense of self-confidence hidden within, causing others to be unable to see through him. An ancient clan that has existed for countless years, who knows what methods they have? Most probably, they can easily control the thoughts of others. Qin Wentian coldly laughed in his heart. Jiang Ziyu was too naive. He wasn't such a foolish person. I'm not free. Qin Wentian faintly spoke. You don't dare? Jiang Ziyu provoked. You want me to go to your Jiang clan with just a single sentence? Do you have that much face? Qin Wentian coldly laughed. Wasn't Jiang Ziyu's provocation a little too laughable? Jiang Ziyu laughed. He wasn't surprised. It would be strange if Qin Wentian agreed. Inclining his head, he stared at the two silhouettes that were flying higher and higher. Jiang Ziyu spoke in a low voice. Seems like you are determined to obstruct me today. This was originally a battle between the holy maidens of the Namhuang clan. We are only protecting them. You have done too much. Qin Wentian replied. Since I am a protector, why wouldn't I dare to use my strength to help someone become the holy successor? Your way of thinking is the laughable one. However, given your strength, I truly have no way to ignore your existence. Seems like this time around, the position of the holy successor of the Namhuang clan will be seized by Namhuang Yunxi, Jiang Ziyu said calmly, as if he was talking about something that had nothing to do with him. He was just a spectator and did not care much about the fight for the holy successor. Jiang Ziyu's words gave Qin Wentian a feeling. It was like him coming here to help Namfeng Qingrua obtain the position of the holy successor was merely a tempering exercise for him. His state of heart was extraordinary, and he could see things very calmly. If he could fight, he would do his best. If he couldn't, he would instantly calm down and toss everything to the back of his mind, completely forgetting about it. Such a calm state of mind was akin to cultivating in a Buddhist art, terrifying to the extreme. Kong Yi was Namfeng Xinga's helper. His state of mind was far inferior to Jiang Ziyu. Qin Wentian, although your combat power is very strong, you haven't been able to use it to your heart's content in this battle. If you fight with all your strength, you're likely to lose. Jiang Ziyu seemed to be very interested in Qin Wentian. Before this, he didn't speak much, but ever since he fought against Qin Wentian, his interest in Qin Wentian was piqued. He wanted to see through Qin Wentian. This genius who looked even younger than him actually had such combat prowess? This truly made him curious. Earlier when he fought against Qin Wentian, Jiang Ziyu saw many extraordinary aspects of Jiang Ziyu. There's no meaning in discussing matters of the unknown. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. Jiang Ziyu was observing him, he was also observing him. Right now he wasn't in a hurry. As long as Jiang Ziyu was here, Namhuang Yunxi would be able to win. There was nothing more he needed to do, and he was more than happy to be idle. Indeed. Jiang Ziyu nodded in agreement. They said that you are in the immortal Qianbian Gate. Are you a disciple of the Emperor Qianbian? What does this have to do with you? Qin Wentian asked. Jiang Ziyu smiled. If you didn't become a disciple of him, you can join my Jiang clan. I'll recommend you and I'll definitely nurture you well, treating you as a descendant of my Jiang clan. Naturally, even if you really became a disciple of my Jiang clan, you can change your sect. The foundations of any one of the three ancient clans of the southern region are incomparably deep. The immortal Qianbian Gate, a newly established power in the immortal realms, can't be compared to them. I believe you should be able to tell a thing or two from the Namhuang clan. Thank you for your kindness, but I have no interest in your Jiang clan at all. Qin Wentian replied. You are not a disciple of the Emperor Qianbian. Jiang Ziyu suddenly laughed. You can guess as you wish. Qin Wentian faintly replied. There's no need to guess, I already know the answer. Jiang Ziyu's smile was unfathomable. Qin Wentian stared at his eyes, only to feel that this man was truly a tough character to deal with. Could it be like what Namfeng Xinga said, that he had cultivated the heavenly eyes of the Buddhist sect, and was able to see through all illusions, even the thoughts of others? Wasn't this a little too terrifying? Namfeng Xinga had been listening to their conversation. Kong Yi was beside her, and she discovered that although Kong Yi could already be considered a genius at the peak of the southern region, he was still a few levels lower when compared to these two young men before her. Qin Wentian defeated him with a cultivation base at the first level of Immortal Foundation, while Jiang Ziyu was extremely mysterious, able to unravel the secrets of their Namhuang clan's parasol leaves. His combat prowess was also extremely terrifying. Seems like in this generation of the Jiang clan, Jiang Ziyu should be a demon-level character. He came out to temper himself, yet he actually chose to temper himself in the Namhuang clan. Such a temperament was truly terrifying. If this man matured, he would definitely be a terrifying character in the Jiang clan. Naturally, compared to Jiang Ziyu, Qin Wentian caused her to be even more shocked. After all, Jiang Ziyu was an elite of this generation of the Jiang clan, and had the backing of an ancient clan. However, Qin Wentian was also so terrifying. With such potential, It was possible that he would lead an entire generation in the future. At this moment, a bright light suddenly flashed. Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared at the sky only to see a towering red light cascading down from above. Nam Huang Yunxi borrowed the power of the parasol staircase, and had already reached the peak of this ancient parasol tree. Nanfeng Qingrua was ultimately still a little lacking. She inclined her head and stared upwards as a hint of disappointment could be seen in her eyes. Even after reaching this step, did she still fail? A beam of fiery light cascaded down from the sky, incinerating the parasol staircase. Nanfeng Qingrua's silhouette flashed as she floated downwards. Very swiftly, she arrived at the location where Qin Wentian and the others were at. She stood beside Jiang Ziyu as her beautiful eyes cast a deep glance at Qin Wentian. However, she merely smiled and spoke. Sir Qin is truly awesome. You actually managed to send Nam Huang Yunxi to the position of the holy successor. Holy Maiden Qingrua, do you think so? Qin Wentian spoke. The reason why Nam Huang Yunxi could become the Holy Maiden was because of her own abilities. Her comprehension abilities are the strongest among all the Holy Maidens, hence, she was always ahead of them. All I can do is to protect her. If not, if Holy Maiden Qingrua's comprehension abilities surpassed Nam Huang Yunxi earlier, even with Jiang Ziyu around, I wouldn't be able to stop Holy Maiden Qingrua from ascending to the peak. Your words aren't without logic. However, the role of a protector is also extremely great. Shunga is one of the holy maidens of our Namhuang clan with extraordinary comprehension abilities. But wasn't she also blocked by someone else? Namfeng Qingrua smiled, her words causing Kang Yi to have a look of guilt on his face. It was because of his defeat that led to Namfeng Xinga's failure. Since things have already passed, there's no need for Sister Qingrua to say anything more. Namfeng Xinga casually smiled. Qin Wentian stared at the smiles in the eyes of the two holy maidens as he silently sighed in admiration at how extraordinary the Namhuang clan was. These two holy maidens were both heaven's chosen, and would surely have extraordinary accomplishments in the future. Okay, I won't say any more. But I really wish to go up and take a look. Namfeng Qingrua inclined her head and stared in the direction of the parasol tree. Her eyes were filled with hidden bitterness as she stared at Qin Wentian. Her beautiful countenance caused Qin Wentian to be unable to endure it. The holy maidens of the Namhuang clan were all fairy-like beauties. This was especially so for the two before him and Namhuang Yunxi. They were the most beautiful among them. In addition, Qin Wentian still felt a little guilty in front of Namfeng Qingrua and Namfeng Xinga. This was especially so when he saw the bitterness in Namfeng Qingrua's eyes. It was as though she knew something. Qin Wentian didn't dare to look her in the eye. And as they were conversing, at the top of the parasol tree, Namfeng Yunxi had a look of pilgrimage on her face. Her beautiful eyes stared ahead as her heartbeat quickened involuntarily. In fact, Namhuang Yunxi's breathing was somewhat hurried. There's no need to be nervous. An ethereal voice that seemed to originate from the primordial era drifted into Namhuang Yunxi's ears. Her heart was still racing as she stared at the incomparably sacred parasol tree before her. In front of this golden parasol tree, there was actually a true phoenix. This phoenix was bathed in flames and its wings were extremely beautiful, incomparably holy. Its eyes were filled with wisdom and farsightedness, as though it could see through everything in the world. Are you the ancestor of my Namhuang clan? Namhuang Yunxi asked in a low voice. There was actually a phoenix residing in this ancestral land? This was simply shocking. You can be considered to be. I've existed together with the Namhuang clan, from the birth of the Namhuang clan until now. Although the old phoenix was right before her, its voice was still extremely ethereal. Namhuang Yunxi could sense a hint of gentleness in its eyes, causing her to feel a sense of serenity. Child, your immortal foundation is very perfect. You're only a step away from establishing a perfect saint-grade immortal foundation. In this era, if you didn't have any miraculous encounters, you wouldn't be able to establish such a perfect immortal foundation. Also, I can sense that your body has been baptized before. The phoenix spoke. Namhuang Yunxi nodded. When Yunxi was in the city of ancient emperors, I had a miraculous encounter and bathed in the light of the sacred luminance, cleansing my body and even obtained a method to cultivate my immortal foundation. The protector should be the same as you, right? Both of you should have encountered a miraculous encounter in the same place, right? The phoenix asked. MHM. Nam Huang Yunshi nodded. That's right. The phoenix smiled. After that she asked, do you like him? Nam Huang Yunshi started. Her beautiful eyes stared at the phoenix before her. Did she like Qin Wentian? Before she entered the city of ancient emperors and met Qin Wentian, she had never thought that she would like someone else. But what about now? Tell me with your heart. This is very important. It's impossible for the Southern Phoenix matriarch to marry an outsider, unless he is willing to marry into the Nam Huang clan. The phoenix gently spoke. Nam Huang Yunshi fell silent for a moment before she gave her answer. Chapter 1053. Qin Wentian and the others waited below. An instant later, a bright light flashed in the air as the parasol path appeared. Nam Huang Yunshi's voice drifted over. Qin Wentian, come up. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. He stepped onto the parasol bridge and ascended step by step, feeling extremely curious in his heart. Why did Nam Huang Yunshi want him to go up? This was the ancestral ground of the Nam Huang clan. The inheritance belonged to Nam Huang Yunshi. Although he was a helper to the Nam Huang clan, he was nothing more than an outsider. The beautiful eyes of Nanfeng Qingrua and Nanfeng Xinga flashed with a bright light. Qin Wentian actually went up. They inclined their heads. There was a holy light, but it gave off an illusory feeling. They couldn't see clearly what it was exactly. Jiang Ziyu, can you see through it? Nanfeng Xinga glanced at Jiang Ziyu, who was beside Nanfeng Qingrua, as she curiously asked. Jiang Ziyu shook his head. This is the most mysterious place in the ancestral ground of the Nam Huang clan. How can I see through it? Nanfeng Xinga nodded her head lightly. Only the holy successor had the qualifications to reach the other shore and receive the inheritance. Qin Wentian climbed up step by step. Finally, he arrived at the top of the parasol tree and saw a golden tree. The leaves on the tree were as bright as the sun, and over there, a mysterious and powerful saint beast, a phoenix, could be seen sitting there. It seemed to be an extremely ancient existence. Qin Wentian pays his respects to Senior. Upon seeing the ancient phoenix, Qin Wentian bowed. The ancestral ground of the Nam Huang clan actually had such a powerful saint beast. This wasn't a young saint beast but a true saint beast. It most probably had the power to destroy the heavens and earth, and could even contend against peak-stage immortal emperors in the immortal realms. It was definitely an extremely powerful existence. Qin Wentian didn't dare to treat such a terrifying ancient phoenix as an ordinary demonic beast. His eyes were filled with respect. There's no need to be polite. The voice of the ancient phoenix was ethereal, extremely profound. The phoenix ancestor said that she wanted to talk to you. Nam Huang Yunshi spoke to Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian nodded. Right now, Nam Huang Yunshi was basking in holy light, exuding incomparable beauty. From now on, she was the holy successor of the Nam Huang clan. Her status was extremely high and she had great authority in the Nam Huang clan. She could directly mobilize many powerful immortal kings to serve her. More importantly, Nam Huang Yunshi would receive the inheritance of the phoenix ancestor, and would be qualified to compete for the position of the empress of the Nam Huang clan. I saw Yi's supreme art from you. The old phoenix's voice was still ethereal as if it came from all directions. Senior, you also know ancient Emperor Yi? Qin Wentian asked. The old phoenix lived in the ancestral land, and he thought that she would not set foot in the outside world. I'm a follower of the Nam Huang clan. My knowledge of the matters in the immortal realms far surpasses yours. The old phoenix spoke. Qin Wentian knew that he had misspoken and could only smile. He had indeed thought wrongly. Such a supreme existence, an ancient phoenix, the thing she knew most probably far surpassed his imagination. Her existence was as ancient as the Nam Huang clan. He once ruled an era and his talent was unparalleled. When he was young, he had already displayed shocking talent. His ultimate art, God's hand, caused people to tremble in fear upon hearing its name. It's a true supreme art. The God's hand you cultivated can only be considered as an entry-level art. You basically haven't comprehended the essence of God's hand. The old phoenix spoke. Junior knows. The god's hand I cultivated in the city of ancient emperors is indeed only at the entry level. Qin Wentian nodded. That was the power he cultivated when he was at the celestial phenomenon realm. Let me show you some things. The old phoenix spoke. As a bright light flashed, a fiery red space appeared in the air. An image appeared. It was a scene. A supreme figure stood in the air, and before him there were many experts from an incomparably powerful power. Both sides seemed to be in a standoff. The expert in the air radiated a boundless divine glow, instantly becoming incomparably dazzling. It was like all the energy in his body was being unleashed. His palm stretched out as a divine-like palm slammed downwards. This palm covered a distance of 10 million miles, containing a supreme destructive might, capable of destroying everything. Qin Wentian's heart trembled violently when he saw this. This supreme figure was frenziedly clashing with the experts below. Each and every strike was heaven-shaking. Yet this god's hand seemed to have transformed into a wheel that could level the heavens and earth. Everything in the world would be annihilated. With a single palm strike, no one could block it. Boundless attacks. A power that had existed for countless years, radiating a territory of tens of thousands of miles. Yet under the might of a single palm strike, the entire sky and earth trembled as the earth crumbled. It's leveled. Qin Wentian stared in that direction as his body trembled. The strength of a supreme existence was simply beyond his imagination. However, at this moment, he only saw the eyes of that supreme figure flashing. He stared in the direction of the sky and grabbed out with his palm. In an instant, his palm seemed to have traversed a boundless distance, penetrating through the void. That space seemed to have been torn apart, and a supreme expert who was extremely far away could only watch as his countenance drastically changed. He wanted to flee, but under the envelopment of God's hand, there was no way for him to escape. This God's hand grabbed that supreme expert from the other side of the void. That supreme expert struggled madly, but God's hand directly transformed into a beam of destructive light, destroying him. The light screen dissipated as the scene disappeared. Qin Wentian sighed in his heart. The strength of a supreme existence was simply too terrifying. This god's hand was simply too terrifying. That supreme figure was naturally none other than ancient Emperor Yi. Back then, when ancient Emperor Yi destroyed an enemy clan, he destroyed a powerful ancient clan with a few attacks. No matter how many years of foundation you have, no matter how many immortals you have, before a true supreme expert, you would still be unable to withstand a single strike. Prison Phoenix slowly spoke. Even if the Namhuang clan seems to be incomparably powerful, with boundless glory and deep foundations, if a supreme character that's close to the level of divinity appears, the Namhuang clan would still be destroyed. Senior, you are thinking too far ahead. Qin Wentian spoke. It's not that far. You are still young, and 10 million years might be too far away to you. But to me, to an ancient clan, 10,000 years is merely the blink of an eye. And in 10,000 years, how many geniuses would there be in the immortal realms? And in 100,000 years, how many new geniuses would there be? In the vast immortal realms, there would always be undercurrents surging in the dark, endless wars. Times of peace and times of chaos. It usually only requires a single stroke of luck. The old phoenix calmly spoke. She wasn't sighing with emotion. It was just that after living for countless years, she had seen too much and experienced too many chaotic eras. The things she saw naturally weren't something that a young man like Qin Wentian, who wasn't even 100 years old, could compare to. Qin Wentian nodded lightly. Indeed, how long has he lived? In the vast history of the immortal realms, he was basically insignificant, like a drop of water in the ocean. The things he had seen and heard were simply too little. It's just that he felt somewhat puzzled. He didn't know why the old phoenix of the Namhuang clan would tell him this. I know where Yi's ultimate art, God's hand, is at. The old phoenix spoke, her words causing Qin Wentian's eyes to flash as he stared at the old phoenix. As expected of an ancient existence that has lived for countless years, she even knew about this. Senior, please guide me. Qin Wentian bowed, not being polite at all. Since the old phoenix spoke so much to him, it was clear that she had the intention of telling him. If not, why would she ask him to come here? You can stay in the southern Phoenix Immortal City for a period of time. Nam Huang Yunxi needs to enter closed-door seclusion for a period of time, but it won't be too long. When she exits, she will naturally bring you there. The old phoenix spoke. Right, many thanks, Senior. Qin Wentian didn't say anything more. You can return first. The rest of you can leave as well. The old phoenix slowly spoke. Qin Wentian bowed and retreated. After he left, the eyes of the old phoenix turned to Nam Huang Yunxi. Have you decided to give up? Yes, old ancestor. Nam Huang Yunxi smiled and nodded. Okay. The old phoenix nodded. Sit down. Nam Huang Yunxi sat down cross-legged. A moment later, resplendent phoenix runic light flashed, enveloping her body. As for Qin Wentian, he returned to the ground. The gazes of everyone landed on him, feeling very curious about what Qin Wentian saw up there. Don't ask me. The matters regarding the ancestral lands of the Namhuang clan shouldn't be divulged, right? Qin Wentian stared at Nanfeng Qingrua and Nanfeng Xinga as he smiled. Naturally, Nanfeng Xinga smiled. She didn't say anything. At this moment, a gust of wind gusted by, causing the leaves of the parasol tree to flutter. The space behind them vanished as the silhouettes of the others appeared. It's time for us to leave. Nanfeng Qingrua spoke. After that, the group of them returned to where they came from. Very swiftly, they regrouped with Nanfeng Aoxue, Nanfeng Xihua and the other holy maidens. Nanfeng Aoxue's eyes were cold as she stared at everyone. She naturally noticed that one of the holy maidens was missing. It was none other than Nam Huang Yunxi. Yunxi obtained the inheritance? Nanfeng Yi's beautiful eyes turned to Nanfeng Xinga and Nanfeng Qingrua. Although they were competitors, they were also sisters of the Namhuang clan. Some of them had good relationships with others, while some had bad relationships with others. Nanfeng Xinga nodded lightly. Brother Qin has truly displayed his brilliance in the ancestral lands. Everyone glanced at Qin Wentian. Jun Mengchen and Purgatory also walked over. Jun Mengchen flashed a thumbs up at Qin Wentian as he laughed in a low voice. Senior Brother Qin, in the future, we will have another holy successor as our soulmate. Don't be serious. Qin Wentian glared at Jun Mengchen. Let's go out. Fine, that golden eagle still wants to fight against me. Jun Mengchen shot a provocative glance at Zhongzhan, causing Zhongzhan's eyes to gleam with sharpness. He also glanced at Qin Wentian. He didn't expect that he would be the one to emerge victorious. Protecting Namhuang Yunxi was the last one standing. What a surprise! The group of them walked out of the ancestral lands. The elders of the Namhuang clan were all here as well. When they saw everyone exiting the ancestral lands, they exchanged mutual glances and naturally knew the result. They didn't expect that Namhuang Yunxi, who had a weaker cultivation base, would really be able to seize the position of holy successor. Everyone, you have all worked hard. A person spoke to the crowd. The Namhuang clan has already prepared an immortal banquet. Everyone, please enjoy it before you leave. If you are willing to stay as a guest in my Namhuang clan, you can stay for a few days. The Namhuang clan will definitely treat you well. The eyes of everyone flickered with different lights, each having their own thoughts. The competition for the position of holy successor of the Namhuang clan has finally concluded. Chapter 1054. A month has passed since the battle for the holy successor of the Namhuang clan. During these days, Qin Wentian spent most of his time roaming around the southern Phoenix Immortal City. This ancient city truly broadened his horizons. However, what made Qin Wentian extremely depressed was that Nanfeng Yunxi had yet to come out from the ancestral lands. He was still thinking about the location of the secret art of ancient Emperor Yi, God's Hand. He was already so powerful after cultivating the elementary level of God's Hand. If he could obtain the complete secret art of ancient Emperor Yi, his combat prowess would surely be even more terrifying. In the Namhuang clan, in an ancient and majestic building, Qin Wentian, Jun Mengchen and Purgatory walked towards a courtyard. Not long later, they arrived at this place. The sound of a zither could be heard, extremely pleasing to the ears. When the serving girl saw Qin Wentian, she smiled. Young Miss said that Sir Qin can enter directly. There's no need to report your arrival. Many thanks. Qin Wentian smiled at the serving girl. After that, he followed the sound of the zither and entered the courtyard, arriving at a place with beautiful scenery. There was a beautiful maiden sitting in front of a fake mountain in the middle of a pond, playing the zither. The music was beautiful. The maiden was beautiful as well. The scenery was like a painting, causing one to be unable to extricate themselves from it. At this moment, the music stopped. Qin Wentian praised, "Not only is Miss Xinga proficient in calligraphy and painting, your skills in the zither are also superb." So it turned out that this young woman was none other than the holy maiden of the Southern Phoenix clan, Namfeng Xinga. Back then, after the selection for the holy successor concluded, everyone didn't enjoy the immortal banquet and simply bid their farewells. As protectors of the Southern Phoenix clan, the holy maidens they were protecting didn't manage to obtain the position of the holy successor. They weren't willing to stay for long and had no intention to stay as guests in the Southern Phoenix clan. Only Qin Wentian wanted to wait for Namfeng Yunxi, and would occasionally stay in the Southern Phoenix clan. When Namfeng Yunxi wasn't around, Namfeng Xinga was the one to receive him. Namfeng Xinga was intelligent. She was well-educated and easy to get close to. However, she didn't stay in the Namhuang clan all the time. She would only come back occasionally, and spend most of her time in the Southern Phoenix Immortal City. Sir Qin praises me too much. Namfeng Xinga smiled and spoke of love. Although I haven't stayed in the Namhuang clan for a few days, I've seen that Miss Xinga is not only excellent in zither painting, but also elegant in playing the flute. It's also fascinating outside of martial arts. Qin Wentian sincerely praised. Being able to have such attainments in music, Namfeng Xinga's talent was clear to see. Back then, only she and Namhuang Yunxi were evenly matched. If it wasn't for Kong Yi being defeated by him, it was unknown who would be the victor between Namfeng Xinga and Namhuang Yunxi. Namfeng Xinga elegantly smiled. "Sir Qin, are you thinking of Yunxi again?" "Miss Xinga is making fun of me again." Qin Wentian shrugged. "Generally speaking, how long will the Saintess of Inheritance stay in the ancestral land?" "It's been a month." "Young Master Qin, a day apart feels like 3 autumns." Namfeng Xinga gently smiled. "However, it shouldn't be too long. Young Master Qin will be able to see Yunxi very soon." Namfeng Xinga was thinking that since Qin Wentian couldn't bear to leave, and wanted to wait for Namhuang Yunxi, there should be some feelings between the two of them. Staring at the smile that was not a smile on her face, Qin Wentian spoke. "Miss Xinga, don't let your thoughts run wild. I really have something to do with Yunxi." "What am I thinking about?" Namfeng Xinga's eyelashes fluttered. Qin Wentian speechlessly shook his head. This Xinga of the Namhuang clan was originally already as beautiful as a painting. Now she even had a hint of mischievousness to her. Staring at the speechless expression on Qin Wentian's face, Namfeng Xinga smiled. "Speaking of which, it's very rare for the holy maiden of my Namhuang clan to roam outside. The majority of her time is spent in the Southern Phoenix Immortal City. Hence, the geniuses she knows, other than those she knows in the Southern Phoenix Immortal City, would they be in the City of Ancient Emperors? Yunxi and you got to know each other in the City of Ancient Emperors. If I got to know you first, would you come here to protect me? Miss Xinga is beautiful and elegant. If we were friends before, I naturally wouldn't reject you." Qin Wentian smiled. "In that case, thank you." Namfeng Xinga smiled, as though she was very satisfied with Qin Wentian's reply. When Qin Wentian and Namfeng Xinga were conversing, outside the Namhuang clan, many figures appeared. These figures came from all directions, and were divided into different camps. They directly walked towards the entrance of the Namhuang clan with solemn expressions, as though they had something to do with the Namhuang clan. The guards of the Namhuang clan instantly appeared, blocking the way as they stared at the incoming figures. "Who are all of you?" someone asked. These people all exuded extraordinary auras, and seemed to be extraordinary characters. "Disciples from Zidi's sect are here to pay a visit." One of the guards spoke, his words causing the expressions of the guards to flicker. Zidi was an extremely powerful immortal emperor character. These people were actually from Zidi's sect? "Disciples from the Dongxing Heaven Emperor's sect are here to pay a visit." Another young man spoke. His gaze was sharp as he stared ahead, causing the guards to feel that something was amiss. Although the Dongxing Heaven Emperor wasn't as famous as Zidi, he was still an immortal emperor, and was the one who established the Dongshanxian Gate. Disciples from the Xian Emperor's sect are here to pay a visit. Another person spoke. Disciples from the Shao Emperor's sect are here to pay a visit. An expert spoke, causing the expressions of the guards to change. There were actually 4 immortal emperors who came to pay a visit. This wasn't a minor matter. Everyone, please allow me to pass on the message. The guard spoke. After that, he walked towards the Namhuang clan. The people who came were patiently waiting outside, they weren't in a hurry. Not long after, a group of experts arrived. They swept their gazes over the guards and noticed that the strength of these immortal emperors weren't very strong. Clearly, they weren't here for the Namhuang clan. But naturally, if they wanted to target the Namhuang clan, it would only be sufficient if these 4 immortal emperors personally came. We pay our respects to the seniors of the Namhuang clan. The person who came was also very polite, bowing to the Namhuang clan. Young heroes, please enter. The Namhuang clan expert didn't ask anything and directly invited everyone to enter. No matter what purpose these people had, at the very least, the Namhuang clan still had to show the proper etiquette. Instruct our men to prepare the immortal banquet. Someone commanded. A group of people then entered the Namhuang clan. For a major power like the Namhuang clan, how efficient would they be? They only needed a short period of time to prepare the immortal banquet. After everyone was seated, a manager of the Namhuang clan toasted everyone. After that he asked, I wonder why all the young heroes have come to my Namhuang clan. Senior, may I ask if Qin Wentian is in the Namhuang clan? A disciple from Zidi's sect asked. The eyes of the Namhuang clan expert flashed. These people were all here for Qin Wentian. I'm not very sure. Sir Qin is a guest of my Namhuang clan. Maybe he is here. Do you all have any business with him? That person replied. I won't hide it from Senior. Qin Wentian has something to do with the death of our young master. We wish to bring him back. The disciple from Zidi's sect spoke. The expert from the Namhuang clan frowned. He then glanced at the others and asked, And who are you all? Qin Wentian killed hundreds of our Dongshanxian Gate's disciples. Our hatred for him is extremely deep. Qin Wentian killed my younger brother Xianxing, the son of the Xian Emperor. Xianyang personally arrived. Numerous voices rang out. The experts from the Namhuang clan furrowed their brows. These people came at the same time, wanting to interrogate Qin Wentian, wanting to capture him. How could there be such a coincidence? Also, how vast was the immortal realms? Even to immortal emperors, it was extremely vast. It was impossible for them to know where Qin Wentian was. There was only one explanation. Someone told them that Qin Wentian was in the Namhuang clan. At the same time, that person also informed Qin Wentian's enemies. Clearly, that person was very familiar with Qin Wentian. The experts of the Southern Phoenix clan instantly understood that the person who wanted to harm Qin Wentian was none other than one of the protectors of the Southern Phoenix clan. In addition, the person who wanted to harm Qin Wentian was none other than one of the protectors of the Southern Phoenix clan. The eyes of everyone turned to the expert from the Namhuang clan. However, that Namhuang clan expert's gaze landed on a person beside him as he asked, Is Qin Wentian in the clan now? He is with Miss Xinga. That person replied in a low voice. Go and invite Qin Wentian over. That expert instructed another person. That person nodded and departed. Not long after, in Nanfeng Xinga's courtyard, Qin Wentian already knew that the experts from the 4 peak powers had arrived. His eyes flashed with coldness as he spoke in a low voice. Seems like I, Qin, have offended someone during the battle for the position of holy successor. How despicable to think of such a method. Jun Mingchen unhappily spoke. Nanfeng Xinga also frowned. After that she spoke. Don't worry, the Namhuang clan won't hand Qin Wentian over. I will accompany you to take a look. Many thanks. Qin Wentian understood Nanfeng Xinga's good intentions. Nanfeng Xinga didn't mind it and smiled. The group of them then headed over together. Not long after, Qin Wentian and Nanfeng Xinga arrived at the banquet. He even saw a few familiar faces. Qin Wentian. Xian Yang's reaction was the greatest. He stood up and coldly stared at Qin Wentian. Beside him, the daughter of the Xiao Emperor, Xiao Lingyue, was present as well. Her beautiful eyes were similarly cold. Glancing at Nanfeng Xinge, who was beside Qin Wentian, she silently cursed in her heart. Seems like this Qin Wentian lived a comfortable life, never lacking beauties by his side. This Nanfeng Xinge's beauty wasn't in any way inferior to Namhuang Yunxi. She was extremely beautiful. Everyone, it must have been tough for you all to come here from so far away. Qin Wentian swept his gaze over everyone, his eyes cold. His gaze then landed on a young man. This young man's eyes gleamed with sharpness, exuding a cold intent. So your cultivation base is so low? Qin Wentian spoke to the young man as a mocking expression appeared on his face. This young man was none other than the son of the Dongxing Heaven Emperor, Dongxing Ting. Dongxing Ting's eyes flashed with coldness. Your cultivation base is only at the first level of immortal foundation. You dare to say that my cultivation base is low? Back then when you were so lofty, staring down at me from the heavens, what cultivation base was I at? Low-level celestial phenomenon? What about now? Qin Wentian laughed. In addition, although your cultivation base is higher than mine, I really don't place you, the son of that old dog Eastern sage, in my eyes at all. Rumble. As the sound of Qin Wentian's voice faded, a surge of killing intent gushed forth from Dongxing Ting, exuding an extremely cold aura. Qin Wentian didn't mind it at all as he stared at Dongxing Ting. If it was possible, he wanted nothing more than to kill Dongxing Ting right here and now. Back then, when the Dongxing Heaven Emperor didn't care about the lives of the people in his particle world, Qin Wentian had already vowed that he would uproot the Dongshengshan Gate completely. Chapter 1055. Dongxing Ting's eyes were like sharp blades, able to pierce through people. Just like what Qin Wentian said, back then when he and the Dongxing Heaven Emperor came to this particle world to recruit disciples, how could he possibly place this person before him in his eyes? In the eyes of Dongxing Ting, Qin Wentian was merely an ant from a country bumpkin world. Early-stage celestial phenomenon ascendants couldn't even be considered an ant. He could kill Qin Wentian with a wave of his hand, and even felt disdain to kill Qin Wentian. At that time, he would never have imagined that Qin Wentian would become his opponent, killing so many experts of his Dongshengshan Gate, refusing to take him as a master, humiliating the Dongxing Heaven Emperor, humiliating the Dongshengshan Gate, killing hundreds of disciples of the Dongshengshan Gate, and even killing a personal disciple of the Dongxing Heaven Emperor. All of these were things he had never imagined. Right now, the Emperor Qianbian was protecting him, and behind him stood the immortal Qianbian Gate. It wouldn't be so easy for them to kill him. This time around, when they came to the Namhuang clan to demand for Qin Wentian actually said that Qin Wentian was the son of that old dog Eastern sage. Senior should have already seen it. This young man's character is extremely bad, and he doesn't even have the slightest bit of respect for seniors. I hope that Senior can hand him over to us. Dongxing Ting spoke to the experts of the Namhuang clan. Knowing that Qin Wentian was in the southern Phoenix Immortal City, they could send experts to kill Qin Wentian. However, in the southern Phoenix Immortal City, the ancient southern Phoenix clan was akin to gods. Nothing that happened here could be hidden from them. Regardless of whether they killed him openly or in the dark, as long as Qin Wentian died, they would be able to find out. This was a serious provocation to the Namhuang clan. Many years ago, there was an immortal emperor who relied on his strength to kill an expert in the southern Phoenix Immortal City. After that, this immortal emperor was hunted down by the Namhuang clan, and eventually died. This was the rule. If someone disobeyed and did not pursue, then what rules were there to speak of? The rules set by the Namhuang clan in the southern Phoenix Immortal City were just empty words. The other immortal emperors would follow suit and ignore the rules set by the Namhuang clan. Ever since that incident, no other immortal emperors dared to kill anyone in the southern Phoenix Immortal City. Even the Dongshengshan Gate wouldn't dare to do so. The strength of the Namhuang clan allowed the southern Phoenix Immortal City to flourish, becoming one of the safest cities in the immortal realms. That was why they came to ask for him. If it wasn't for the fact that the Namhuang clan had existed for countless years, they would have assassinated him directly. Young Master Qin is our Namhuang clan's guest. Even before the expert from the Namhuang clan spoke, Namfeng Xinge already interjected, causing Dong Xingting to glance at her. This sentence was undoubtedly meant to help Qin Wentian. If not, there was no reason for her to speak before an elder. Qin Wentian naturally understood Namfeng Xinge's good intentions. This is. Dong Xingting smiled. Namfeng Xinge. Oh, so it's Holy Maiden. Dong Xingting smiled and nodded, being extremely polite. Young Master Dongsheng is too polite. Namfeng Xinge returned the greeting. My young master Zidaoyang's death caused Zidi to be enraged. I hope that Senior can understand Zidi's feelings. This man's death concerns the life of my young master. Senior, can you allow me to bring him away? Zidi will definitely be grateful to the Namhuang clan. An expert from Zidi's sect spoke. He spoke before the Namhuang clan's experts expressed their stance. Clearly, he wanted to exert some pressure. Zidi was a peak-stage immortal emperor character, and was extremely powerful. The Namhuang clan could ignore the Xian emperor and the Shao emperor, but the Namhuang clan still had to consider Zidi's feelings. Everyone, you are really making things difficult for me. That expert bitterly smiled and shook his head. You are all from the sects of immortal emperors. Logically speaking, I shouldn't reject your request. But just like what Xinge has said, Qin Wentian is after all a guest of my Namhuang clan. If I hand him over to you guys, how would the people of the immortal realms view my Namhuang clan? His words were already considered a rejection. Qin Wentian laughed at this moment. He stared at Zidi's followers as he coldly spoke. I Qin have also heard of the name Zidi of the immortal realms. However, hearing is just hearing about him. I'm extremely disappointed when I actually came into contact with him. Zidaoyang fought a fair battle against me and was injured. After that, he was assassinated by someone and Zidi actually vented his anger on me. Zidi's magnanimity is merely SOSO. The cause of Daoyang Gige's death is still unknown. We still don't know what role you played in it. Daoyang Gige's talent is extraordinary, but since he died in the city of ancient emperors, you won't be able to shirk your responsibility. Shaolin Yue coldly spoke. Qin Wentian swept his gaze over. His piercing gaze seemed to be able to penetrate through the hearts of people, staring at Shaolin Yue. Shaolin Yue actually didn't dare to meet his eyes. I spared your life so many times, yet you are still fanning the flames. Your cultivation base doesn't seem to have any improvement, only knowing how to seduce others with your beauty. You still dare to call yourself a genius? Shaolin Yue, you are truly despicable enough. Qin Wentian impolitely spoke. It was extremely rare for him to humiliate a woman like this. However, this Shaolin Yue, he didn't spare her just once. Back then in the city of ancient emperors, Shaolin Yue had provoked him many times and he couldn't be bothered to be calculative with her. However, this woman actually didn't give up. She even wanted to borrow Zidi's hand to take his life. Shaolin Yue was so angered by Qin Wentian's insults that her chest heaved up and down. She could originally be considered a heaven chosen in the city of ancient emperors, but ever since she met this baleful star, Qin Wentian, it was like a heart demon was born. As long as Qin Wentian didn't die, it would be hard for her to resolve this heart demon. What about me? Qin Wentian laughed. He then turned his gaze to Xianyang as he spoke. Don't forget how your younger brother died. Back in the city of ancient emperors, you wanted me dead at every turn, and in the end, you were too useless and even dared to come to the Namhuang clan to demand for my release. Just based on you, Xianyang, you aren't much weaker compared to Shaolin Yue. I can squash you to death with a single hand. Don't forget that when you were ranked number 4 in the Immortal Ascension rankings, my cultivation base was only at the 7th level. How impudent. The subordinates of the Xian Emperor stared at Qin Wentian. Their voices were like ice. This fellow actually dared to be so arrogant even when facing the subordinates of 4 immortal emperors? He was simply lawless, completely not putting them in his eyes. Humph. Qin Wentian snorted. He swept his gaze over everyone as he continued. Since everyone came from afar and came to the Namhuang clan to take my life, things are simple. Let's follow the rules of the Namhuang clan. Whoever wishes to ascend the Southern Phoenix Arena, regardless of life or death, can challenge me. I can fight continuously, and I can even give you a handicap of 1 or 2 levels. Even 3rd-level Immortal Foundation experts are allowed to challenge me. I will accept all challenges. Fight or not? Qin Wentian abruptly roared, causing everyone to lift their heads in shock. They saw a cold arrogance flickering in Qin Wentian's eyes, as well as a terrifying killing intent. It was like they weren't the ones who came here to kill Qin Wentian, but Qin Wentian was the one who wanted to kill them. Qin Wentian naturally had reason to be angry. Which of the 4 immortal emperors didn't bully others? Back then, the younger one was the one who bullied others and was killed by him. Now the older one was here to demand for his release. Fine, since this is the case, let's be more direct and kill them one by one. In any case, he would temporarily stay in the Southern Phoenix Immortal City. He wanted to see how these people would destroy him. Do you dare to fight? Qin Wentian saw that no one replied. He then roared again. If you don't dare, then all of you scram back to where you came from. The faces of the 4 immortal emperors have all been thrown away. Dongxingting, didn't you always view me as an ant? Do you dare to ascend the Phoenix Arena with me? Gotcha. The wine cup in Dongxingting's hand directly shattered. If it was in the past, he would definitely fight without hesitation. But before he came to the Namhuang clan, he heard a piece of bad news. Qin Wentian had helped Namhuang Yunshi to seize the position of Holy Successor. And for the other Holy Successor characters who were competing against Namhuang Yunshi, Kong Yi and Jiang Ziyu were their allies. This caused them to have no choice but to speculate about Qin Wentian's combat prowess. Dongxingting was someone with an extraordinary status. He didn't want to fail miserably. This madman Qin Wentian actually dared to kill Ke Tianyi and annihilate the experts of the Dongshengsheng Gate, forming a deep grudge with the Dongshengsheng Gate. If Dongxingting really found an opportunity, he would definitely kill him. Although Dongxingting was very confident in his own strength, he was also very cautious. He felt that his life was extremely precious. Since Qin Wentian has already spoken, I have no objections. If all of you can kill Qin Wentian on the Phoenix Arena, my Namhuang clan will have no objections as well. What do you all think? An expert from the Namhuang clan took the opportunity to speak. He wanted to see how these immortal emperors would react to Qin Wentian's arrogance. Fine, let the Phoenix Arena battle begin then. An expert from Zidi's sect coldly spoke. A moment later, that expert from the Namhuang clan stood up and spoke. I will personally prepare for the battle on the Phoenix Arena for all of you. Please. After speaking, he stepped out as everyone followed after him. Not long later, they arrived before a gigantic arena belonging to the Namhuang clan. Namfeng Xinge and Jun Mingchen stood beside Qin Wentian only to hear Namfeng Xinge reminding them, "Be careful. Since we agreed to fight on the Phoenix Arena, we can use any methods, including immortal-ranked weapons. Remember not to be careless." Qin Wentian nodded lightly to Namfeng Xinge, indicating that he understood. The Phoenix Arena required the agreement of both parties before one could fight on it. Once both parties agreed, it meant that there was no way to resolve the conflict. Since both parties agreed to a life-and-death battle, there was no longer any need to talk about fairness. Since both parties were willing to fight, any methods could be used, as long as they could kill the other party. The disciple from Zidi's sect transmitted his voice to someone beside him. That person nodded and stepped out. Coldly, he glanced at Qin Wentian as a terrifying killing intent flickered in his eyes. His cultivation base was at the 3rd level of Immortal Foundation. Qin Wentian and that person both walked up the arena and activated the light screen. Instantly, the shadow of an ancient phoenix enveloped the entire arena, signifying that the battle could begin. Rumble. A terrifying sense of danger instantly locked onto Qin Wentian. Fast, too fast. The moment his opponent attacked, it was already a sure kill move. His silhouette directly vanished from sight as a terrifying killing intent bore down on Qin Wentian. So fast that even Immortal Foundation experts had no time to react. Bang! A deafening sound of collision rang out. Powerful runic light circulated around him as a sword light appeared. accompanied by a drop of fresh blood. From the start till the end, Qin Wentian stood there unmoving. The demon sword had already pierced into his opponent's throat. Shameless. Dong Xingting coldly spoke. At the instant the battle started, Qin Wentian actually detonated a defensive immortal talisman. He had long been prepared, and was waiting for his opponent to unleash a sure-kill attack. By using the talisman to block it, he would be able to easily kill his opponent. Qin Wentian slowly pulled out the demon sword as his cold eyes stared downwards. On the Phoenix Arena, everyone was using all sorts of methods to kill their opponent. What shamelessness was this? Chapter 1056. In the immortal realms, to those with extraordinary statuses, they would naturally disdain to use such defensive immortal talismans. Their status was the first layer of protection, and they would also have the protective immortal sense of their elders protecting them. If that wasn't enough to protect their life, defensive immortal talismans were basically useless. In addition, these defensive immortal talismans that could withstand the attacks of Immortal Foundation experts weren't cheap at all. Only stellar martial cultivators who had no background and had to depend on themselves would be willing to exchange for some to protect themselves. Qin Wentian actually used one. Qin Wentian had already exchanged for some of these defensive immortal talismans when he saw them in the southern Phoenix Immortal City. He was different from Dong Xingting and Zi Daoyang. He still had to rely on himself and had many enemies. It was better for him to be more cautious when tempering himself outside. There was no need to fear having too many life-saving methods. In any case, although he wasn't considered very wealthy, he wasn't poor either. He could borrow the power of the immortal weapons in the Driftsnow City and forge one at any time. It was just that Qin Wentian didn't expect that he would be put to use so quickly. When he heard Nanfeng Xinga's warning, he knew that once the battle started, Dong Xingting would instantly kill him. Hence, he didn't hesitate and crushed a defensive immortal talisman to block his opponent's attack. At the same time, he used the demon sword seizing life, moving as fast as lightning. Qin Wentian's gaze landed on Dong Xingting as he spoke. What a pitiful man. The son of the Dongxing Heaven Emperor doesn't even have the courage to fight. Rumble. Dong Xingting's aura erupted forth as he walked towards the Phoenix Arena. His patience had already reached its limit. However, the person beside him pulled his arm and transmitted his voice. Your Highness, this man is extremely sinister and ruthless. He has already formed a grudge with 4 immortal emperors, and is extremely crafty. You have to guard against him. Humph. Dong Xingting's countenance was ice-cold. If Qin Wentian could hear the voice transmission earlier, he would definitely be laughing uproariously. Dong Xingting didn't dare to fight against him. Yet his opponent actually thought of such an excuse? Was he extremely sinister and ruthless? Ling, go and kill him. That expert spoke to a person beside Dong Xingting. The countenance of that person flickered as he nodded, and walked towards the Phoenix Arena. This expert named Ling walked up the Phoenix Arena. The might of his immortal foundation erupted forth as a raging wind gusted by. An immortal-ranked weapon appeared in his hand. It was a feather fan. Immortal energy gushed forth as he infused it. The feather fan in his hand suddenly expanded in size, transforming into a hurricane that could lacerate everything as it blasted towards Qin Wentian. That terrifying immortal law energy caused ear-piercing screeches as it tore through the air. Qin Wentian's immortal foundation erupted forth as runic light circulated around him. His body was like that of a fiend god, unshakable. He stood there arrogantly as an immortal light screen appeared around him, enveloping him within. However, the power of the fan grew more and more violent, unceasingly slamming into the light screen, causing cracks to appear on it. The incomparably powerful force caused Qin Wentian to retreat. Buzz. His opponent directly vanished from sight. In an instant, a silhouette appeared. The fan directly slammed into the light screen and actually broke it apart. An indomitable force swept towards Qin Wentian's neck, wanting to reap his life in a single strike. The demon sword in Qin Wentian's hand hummed as a terrifying demonic chi erupted forth from it. There seemed to be the shadow of a great rock within. This sword strike had been accumulating power for a long time, and right now as it swept out, a terrifying sword scar appeared in the air, slashing apart everything. Terrifying immortal energy clashed against each other, as both of them instantly retreated. That expert moved with extreme speed, fusing with the law energy of the wind and moving with the wind. His silhouette flickered in the air above the Phoenix Arena. His silhouette was ethereal, and it was hard to track him down. Qin Wentian stood there with his sword in his hand. His eyes were closed as the power of his immortal foundation gushed forth in all directions, creating a terrifying sword tempest. Buzz! After a few probing attacks, an attack that could sever everything gushed forth from behind Qin Wentian. Aiming straight for Qin Wentian's head, that feather fan transformed into an invincible immortal weapon, gleaming with a terrifying golden luster. It was even sharper than a sharp blade. Every feather on the fan was as sharp as an immortal sword, slashing towards Qin Wentian's head. A sever character appeared in the air, exuding boundless might. Roar! A deafening roar suddenly burst out. Huge and terrifying divine elephants appeared in the sky, suppressing everything. The entire space seemed to have stopped at this moment. The cultivator who was charging at Qin Wentian felt that he had fallen into a supreme suppressive force at this moment. His body was extremely stiff, and it was difficult for him to attack. No! A terrifying beam of sword light slashed over. That cultivator howled in rage as his sword slashed out. From the bottom to the top, a straight line of blood appeared. His body fell from the air as he was killed. Qin Wentian walked to the side of his opponent and took his immortal ranked weapon and interspatial ring. These were the spoils of war that belonged to the victor. How could he be polite? Sword chi gushed forth, enveloping the cultivator's body. In an instant, the cultivator's body vanished into thin air. Not a single trace of him was left behind. Who else? Qin Wentian stared at the experts from the 4 immortal emperors below. His countenance was as cold as ever. Since all of them wanted his life, why would he be polite? He would kill each of them. Although this wouldn't be able to cause any serious injuries to the 4 immortal emperors, at the very least, he wanted to tell them that if they wanted Qin Wentian's life, they would have to pay a price. After that, several more experts walked up to the Phoenix Arena. Without any accidents, all of them died in the hands of Qin Wentian. No matter what methods they used, Qin Wentian seemed to be able to deal with them. At the most crucial moment, he would deal a fatal blow, killing all the experts from the 4 immortal emperors. It was as though he knew that ordinary 3rd-level immortal foundation experts wouldn't be able to kill Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian's combat prowess had far surpassed their expectations. Senior, this one bids my farewell. At this moment, Zidi's followers clasped their hands to the experts from the Namhuang clan as they spoke. That expert from the Namhuang clan asked, "Are you all not going to stay in the Namhuang clan for a few days?" "No need. We will pay a visit again if there's a chance." Zidi's followers shook their heads and smiled. After that, they excused themselves. Dong Xingting coldly glanced at Qin Wentian as he spoke. "I will let you be arrogant for a few more days. I will definitely take your life." "Coward." Qin Wentian only spat out a single word, his words filled with humiliation. Dong Xingting was so angered that his body trembled. He flicked his sleeves and snorted coldly as he turned and departed, radiating a terrifying killing intent. "If the old dog asks, remember to help me tell him that his life is mine. I, Qin Wentian, will take it sooner or later." Qin Wentian icily spoke. Dong Xingting stretched his hand out and grabbed towards the side. A thunderous boom rang out as a gigantic boulder shattered into pieces. "Also, trash like you actually dared to have delusional thoughts about Qin. Even a crow wants to climb up to the phoenix? How pathetic." Qin Wentian spoke again, returning the humiliation Dong Xingting gave him back to Dong Xingting in the past. His immortal sense could clearly see that Dong Xingting's handsome countenance was contorted, filled with a malevolent killing intent. An ant-like character back then actually dared to use the same method he used back then to humiliate him. Dong Xingting's killing intent towards Qin Wentian had already climbed to the extreme. Most probably, as long as there's a chance, Dong Xingting would definitely kill him. Qin Wentian walked down the Phoenix Arena, staring at the departing silhouettes. Nanfeng Shunga spoke in a light voice. These people came prepared. Although the Namhuang clan didn't succeed, They wouldn't give up so easily. I'm afraid they would choose to remain in the Southern Phoenix Immortal City. Don't worry, as long as they are in the Southern Phoenix Immortal City, no one would dare to act recklessly. Even someone as strong as Ziti would have to consider the consequences before acting recklessly. An elder of the Namhuang clan spoke. Many thanks, Senior. Qin Wentian thanked. No wonder the Taishan Immortal King under Emperor Qianbian supported him to come to the Southern Phoenix Immortal City. This city was truly different from the rest. Don't worry about it. This is what we should do. You protected Namhuang Yunxi and helped her to become the holy successor. If the Namhuang clan handed you all over, wouldn't our Namhuang clan become a laughing stock? That old man coldly snorted. To think that they could even think of this. Most probably, Ziti is too arrogant and thinks that his face is big enough. Is Ziti very strong? Qin Wentian asked. The Dongxing Heaven Emperor, the Xian Emperor and the Shao Emperor added together wouldn't be able to match up to Ziti. The immortal emperors under Ziti are all characters on the same level as the Xian Emperor and the Shao Emperor. Ziti is truly a character with great ambitions. The elder of the Namhuang clan spoke. Qin Wentian nodded lightly. There were naturally differences in strength among immortal emperors. For example, back then during the Particle War, the white-robed immortal king, by Wuxia, alone was able to turn the tides of the war. However, since you are being watched by the disciples of the 4 immortal emperors, you have to be more cautious. They wouldn't dare to act in the Southern Phoenix Immortal City, but once you leave the city, don't reveal your whereabouts. Although your combat prowess is strong, if they send immortal kings to act, they would be able to kill you instantly. The elder reminded. Junior understands. Qin Wentian nodded. At this moment, a voice drifted over from the depths of the Namhuang clan. This voice was the sound of a bell. That elder turned his head and stared in the direction of the ancestral lands of the Namhuang clan. He smiled and spoke to Qin Wentian. Namhuang Yunxi has exited her seclusion. Let's go and take a look. She finally exited? Qin Wentian's eyes gleamed with sharpness. Chapter 1057. Outside the ancestral lands of the Namhuang clan, many elders of the Namhuang clan had arrived. When Qin Wentian arrived, Namhuang Yunxi was surrounded by the crowd, surrounded by a middle-aged couple. The man exuded a sense of gentleness, while the woman exuded a dignified aura, exuding a sense of nobility and elegance. She was like a sister to Namhuang Yunxi, but she was actually Namhuang Yunxi's mother. Haha, Yunxi, very good performance. An old man laughed. This old man was someone of the grandfatherly generation of Namhuang Yunxi. Namhuang Yunxi was able to become the holy successor and have the power to contend against the Southern Phoenix matriarch. She would be heavily nurtured by the Namhuang clan. They were naturally very happy. Her cultivation base actually broke through to the 2nd level of Immortal Foundation. Qin Wentian stared at the beautiful woman in the middle of the crowd. Her aura changed slightly, becoming even more beautiful and holy. The path to Immortal Foundation was extremely difficult. One had to walk step by step, and it was very difficult to break through in a short period of time. Only those ancient clans with countless years of inheritances would be able to pass down their inheritance, allowing them to increase their cultivation base faster. For those who became the holy successor, they would only have a single chance to receive the inheritance from the ancestral lands. With the inheritance of the Phoenix, their strength would naturally increase tremendously. Other than this, for such powerful clans, as long as one became a core character, they would have access to many secret arts and cultivation resources. It would be much faster to raise their cultivation base compared to trying to figure things out by themselves. Hence, being born into such a clan was undoubtedly akin to being born with a golden spoon in your mouth. Namhuang Yunxi and the others returned the greeting. After that, her gaze landed on Qin Wentian as she smiled. In front of Qin Wentian, she no longer had the cold arrogance she had back then in the city of ancient emperors. Her smiling eyes were filled with gentleness, exuding a different kind of beauty. Namhuang Yunxi walked to Qin Wentian and smiled. This time around, it's all thanks to you. You and I are people who fought side by side in the city of ancient emperors. Is there still a need to thank me? Qin Wentian laughed. Qin Wentian, This might not mean much to you, but for Nam Huang Yunxi, becoming the Saintess of Inheritance is a very important experience in her life. We want to thank you as well. Nam Huang Yunxi's father said to Qin Wentian with a hearty smile. He's right. Qin Wentian, if you encounter any difficulties in the future, you can come to us. Nam Huang Yunxi's mother also said with a smile. Qin Wentian nodded and said, Okay, I will accept your gratitude. Just call us uncle and auntie. There's no need to call us seniors. It's too distant, said Nam Huang Yunxi's father. Uncle auntie. Qin Wentian was a straightforward person, and wouldn't be bothered by the small details. He and Nam Huang Yunxi were friends, and it wasn't too much for him to refer to Nam Huang Yunxi's parents as uncle and auntie. Yunxi, we are preparing to hold a celebration for you. What do you think? At this moment, an elder from the Nam Huang clan spoke. However, Nam Huang Yunxi smiled and shook her head. Yunxi has just become the holy successor, her cultivation base is still low. Her future path is still very long. Elders, please don't place Yunxi on a pedestal too high. If not, things would be bad if Yunxi becomes arrogant and complacent in the future. Yunxi is right. Elders, please don't spoil her too much. She still has a long way to go if she wants to ascend to the throne of the Empress. She still has a long way to go. She still needs to follow her heart step by step. Nam Huang Yunxi's father nodded, and said bluntly about ascending to the throne of the Empress. This wasn't a taboo in the Nam Huang clan. As long as one was the holy successor, they would be qualified to inherit the throne of the Empress. They could say it openly, and it was also a form of encouragement for the holy successor. You guys are exaggerating. You're exaggerating. But since it's Yunxi's idea, we won't force her. Yunxi's new residence has been prepared. We will officially rename the former Jiyue Palace to Yunxi Palace. This palace will be your palace from now on. In addition, the other saintesses of this generation will be your protectors and accompany you as you grow. They will be your helpers in the future. You must treat them well. You can go now. The old man spoke. Nam Huang Yunxi's expression also turned solemn. At the instant she became the holy successor, she knew that many things had changed. For the past 100 years, the 30-plus holy successors were all competitors, vying for the position of the holy successor. But once the holy successor appeared, the other holy successors would become her protectors, accompanying her as she grew up, becoming an important pillar of support for her in the future. The current Southern Phoenix matriarch, the holy successors who were her protectors back then, were now all extremely powerful, and could be considered the vanguard troops of the Southern Phoenix matriarch. Qin Wentian felt extremely shocked in his heart when he heard this. The holy successors would act as protectors for Nam Huang Yunxi? Was this the status of the holy successor? Jiyue Palace. Nam Huang Yunxi mumbled in a low voice. Her gaze was somewhat misty. Namfeng Jiyue is a legendary character of our Nam Huang clan. Yunxi, this is the hope we have for you. Don't disappoint the clan. The old man solemnly spoke. Nam Huang Yunxi nodded solemnly. Namfeng Jiyue, this name was once incomparably glorious in the Nam Huang clan. Even in the immortal realms, she was extremely famous. Let's go. The old man spoke. After that, everyone moved out. Nam Huang Yunxi smiled at Qin Wentian. Come with me. Sure, I also want to see the glory of the holy successor. Qin Wentian joked. Nam Huang Yunxi rolled her eyes. Who is Namfeng Jiyue? Qin Wentian transmitted his voice to Nam Huang Yunxi, feeling somewhat curious. Namfeng Jiyue is a legendary character of our Nam Huang clan. She is also the holy successor, and rose up in the immortal realms in a dazzling manner. When she was at her peak, there weren't many in the vast immortal realms who could match up to her. This lasted until one time when our Nam Huang clan faced a calamity. A devil lord from the myriad devil islands coveted us, and said that he wanted to abduct the Southern Phoenix matriarch as well as the holy maidens of the Nam Huang clan. This devil lord's infamy towered up into the heavens, and his power was immense. He gathered all the devil sects and started a war against the Nam Huang clan, abducting many holy maidens. Namfeng Jiyue took the initiative to fight and killed her way into the myriad devil islands, using a heaven-defying method to send the holy maidens out. At the same time, she used her own strength to fight against many supreme experts from the myriad Devil Islands. The myriad Devil Islands are a place where immortal emperors are forbidden to enter, let alone the fact that Namfeng Jiyue went there to fight. She was surrounded by many devils, but she relied on her overwhelming strength to kill the Devil Lord who abducted the Holy Maidens, killing several devil emperors before she died on the myriad Devil Islands. Qin Wentian's expression turned solemn when he heard Namhuang Yunxi's voice transmission. A scene of a peerlessly beautiful maiden slaughtering her way into the myriad Devil Islands appeared in his mind. Slaughtering her way into the myriad Devil Islands. Was it worth it? Namfeng Jiyue was a little too impulsive. Qin Wentian sighed. Sometimes, for such supreme characters, they simply depend on their aura. At that time, my Namhuang clan was being watched by the entire immortal realms. The holy maidens were abducted. It was a great humiliation, and there had to be someone who stood out. Even if Namfeng Jiyue didn't step out, the Namhuang clan would still act. How arrogant was Namfeng Jiyue! In a fit of rage, she killed her way into the myriad Devil Islands. Although Namfeng Jiyue died in that battle, her actions shocked the entire immortal realms. From then on, the Devil Lords of the myriad Devil Islands no longer dared to provoke my Namhuang clan. Namhuang Yunxi's heart was filled with longing. Qin Wentian also felt respect for the Namfeng Jiyue that Namhuang Yunxi spoke of. Just like what Namhuang Yunxi said, there were some things that you had to do even if you knew it was impossible. Qin Wentian had also done similar things before. This was the strength of a supreme genius. Sadly, I can't personally witness her glory. Qin Wentian sighed. He faintly understood the words of the ancient phoenix back then. In the immortal realms, even the strongest ancient clan would feel a sense of danger. It's truly a pity. Back then, everyone in the Namhuang clan felt that if Namfeng Jiyue didn't die, there was a very high possibility that she would be the next matriarch of our Namhuang clan. Namhuang Yunxi also sighed. As they spoke, they already arrived at a majestic ancient palace. Outside this ancient palace, there was a statue of a female that exuded boundless magnificence. This was none other than Namfeng Jiyue, a heaven's chosen of a generation. The Namhuang clan built a statue of her and erected a monument for her. Everyone landed on the ground and bowed to Namfeng Jiyue's statue. Even those experts of the older generation of the Namhuang clan did the same. Qin Wentian could sense the respect these people of the Namhuang clan had for this deceased person. Qin Wentian also stood before the statue and bowed deeply, reminiscing about the past. I have a request. Don't change the name of the Jiyue Palace to Yunxi Palace. Everything must remain the same. Namhuang Yunxi spoke. Usually, when a new holy successor moved in, the name of the ancient palace would be changed to the name of the new holy successor. Sure. The elder of the Namhuang clan decisively agreed without any hesitation. He felt gratified that Namhuang Yunxi could take the initiative to make this request. Let's enter. Namhuang Yunxi walked towards the ancient palace, her heart filled with boundless yearning. She hoped that one day, she would be able to have Namfeng Jiyue's magnificence and become the holy successor of the Namhuang clan. The Jiyue Palace was extremely vast, exuding an air of elegance. Everyone moved forward step by step. Namhuang Yunxi walked up to a tall platform, while the other members of the Namhuang clan stood in front of it, silently observing. Although the Namhuang clan refused to celebrate, some basic rituals still had to be carried out. Sir Qin, I will have to trouble you to take care of me in the future. Namfeng Xinge laughed in a low voice beside Qin Wentian. After that, she stepped out. Not only her, Qin Wentian also saw many other holy maidens appearing on the platform, surrounding Namhuang Yunxi. Namhuang Yunxi was the leader, including the arrogant Namfeng Aoxue. From now onwards, they would stay together with Namhuang Yunxi in the Jiyue Palace. No matter if they were convinced or not, they had to obey. This was the rule of the Namhuang clan. If they weren't convinced, they could work harder to cultivate faster, forever being ahead of Namhuang Yunxi. At the same time, their existence would spur Namhuang Yunxi to never fall behind. She was the holy successor. Other than the holy maidens, numerous experts appeared below the platform, including some extremely powerful immortal kings. They were all chosen by the Namhuang clan to guard the Jiyue Palace, to protect Namhuang Yunshi. From now onwards, Namhuang Yunshi would be the new master of the Jiyue Palace. The holy maidens would act as her protectors, as well as the immortal kings. She was the holy successor, the successor of the Southern Phoenix matriarch. Qin Wentian stared at the platform, at the incomparably majestic Namhuang Yunshi at this moment. A radiant smile appeared in his eyes. He was happy for Namhuang Yunshi. No wonder all the holy maidens would do their best to fight for the position of holy successor. This was glory, status, authority, and also the future. Chapter 1058. After the ceremony, the people of the Namhuang clan departed, leaving behind only the holy maidens and the guards the Namhuang clan had assigned to Namhuang Yunshi. Naturally, there were also Qin Wentian, Jun Mengchen and Purgatory. Namhuang Yunshi's parents also departed after leaving some instructions. After Namhuang Yunshi became the holy successor, she was no longer just the pearl in their palms. She would carve out her own future in the Namhuang clan and become the mistress of the Jiyue ancient palace. Namhuang Yunshi stared at the holy maidens beside her and smiled. In the future, Yunshi will have to depend on all of you sisters. Yunshi, I will continue to work hard in my cultivation. I won't fall behind you. Namfeng Aoshue was still brooding over her failure to become the holy successor. She was the strongest among the holy maidens of this generation. But in the end, the one with the lowest cultivation base, Namhuang Yunshi, became the holy successor. In that case, Sister Aoshue has to work hard. Namfeng Yunshi didn't mind it as she laughed. Qin Wentian was truly unhappy with Namfeng Aoshue. She had already been defeated, yet her tone was still so arrogant. If Namfeng Yunshi had the same bearing as her, she would have countless methods to make it so that Namfeng Aoshue would never be able to lift her head again. Yunshi, there's no need to be so polite. In the future, all of us sisters will listen to your commands. We still need you to take good care of us. Namfeng Xinge gently smiled. Namhuang Yunshi smiled. After that, she spoke. I'm going out for a while. Xinge, come with me. I'm okay. Namfeng Xinge smiled and nodded. Namhuang Yunshi then walked towards her guards and spoke to them. A moment later, 3 of them obeyed. After doing this, Namhuang Yunshi walked to the side of Qin Wentian and asked, Shall we move out? You just joined the Jiyue ancient palace? Qin Wentian asked. Now that I'm done with my business, it's time to start working on yours. Namhuang Yunshi smiled and stepped out first. Namfeng Xinge walked to the side of Qin Wentian and winked at him before following behind Namhuang Yunshi. Qin Wentian shrugged and said, Let's go. Then he, Jun Mengchen and the other 2 followed them, leaving all the saintesses confused. Namhuang Yunshi wanted to help Qin Wentian with what? Could it be that when Qin Wentian helped Namhuang Yunshi to seize the position of the saintess of inheritance, they had reached some kind of agreement? They were all very curious in their hearts, but they had no way to find out. Namhuang Yunshi only chose to bring Namfeng Xinge along. Sister Aoshue, don't speak to Yunshi like this in the future. After all, we are now Yunshi's Dao protectors. If Yunshi intentionally targets you, I'm afraid the cultivation resources of the Namhuang clan would have nothing to do with you. If you truly have the heart, just work hard in your cultivation. Namfeng Qingrua smiled at Namfeng Aoshue. After that, she didn't wait for Namfeng Aoshue's reply and turned to leave. It's naturally not so easy to change one's identity. However, the winner is the king and the loser is the villain. The Namhuang clan has been selecting the elites for countless years. Since you lost, you have to accept the truth. Don't forget the mistakes of your predecessors. Namfeng Qingrua's voice drifted over, causing Namfeng Aoshue to frown. The other holy maidens also sighed in their hearts. What Namfeng Qingrua said was right. It was naturally not easy to change one's identity. But who asked them to be the losers? The identity of a holy protector was also a test for those who failed. On the streets of the Southern Phoenix Immortal City, a group of extraordinary silhouettes were strolling about, attracting the attention of many. This group of men and women was extraordinary with just a single glance. The men were handsome while the women were extremely beautiful. It was a sight to behold. Where are we going? Qin Wentian asked. There's a place in the southern regions named the God Hand Mountain Manor. The master of the mountain manor is an immortal emperor with supreme archery skills. His title is Emperor Yu and he rarely interferes with the affairs of the immortal realms. He is a solitary cultivator, and would often roam around the immortal realms, exuding a mysterious aura as though he stands aloof from worldly affairs. The mountain manor has also accepted many disciples, and Emperor Yu has guided many outstanding geniuses in archery, but he doesn't accept any disciples. Many people in the southern regions feel that Emperor Yu is a good person, and because of his high cultivation base, very few people would dare to disturb his peaceful cultivation. Nam Huang Yunxi slowly spoke. This time around, we are heading to the God Hand Mountain Manor. God Hand Mountain Manor. Qin Wentian mumbled. God Hand Mountain Manor. Was this really a coincidence? Seems like this wasn't the case. Emperor Yu of the God Hand Mountain Manor most probably had a deep relationship with ancient Emperor Yi. Nanfeng Xinge felt somewhat bewildered when she heard this. Her beautiful eyes roamed over to Qin Wentian and Nam Huang Yunxi. Why did they want to go to the God Hand Mountain Manor? However, Qin Wentian naturally understood. Most probably, the complete version of God's Hand was in the God Hand Mountain Manor. The Phoenix ancestor told me that everyone thought that ancient emperor Yi was only proficient in God's Hand because God's Hand could transform into a myriad of abilities, concealing ancient Emperor Yi's other abilities. But in truth, when ancient Emperor Yi was young, his archery skills were extremely powerful. Nam Huang Yunxi transmitted her voice to Qin Wentian, her words causing Qin Wentian's eyes to flash. The Phoenix ancestor was as expected of an old monster that had lived for countless years. She even knew about this. Most probably, this had something to do with the fact that ancient Emperor Yi lived in the southern regions of the immortal realms. At this moment, a few hundred miles away from Qin Wentian and Nam Huang Yunxi, in an inn in the southern Phoenix Immortal City, an extraordinarily handsome figure was sitting cross-legged. His eyes were closed and his ears were perked up. There seemed to be a formless energy gushing forth from his ears, transforming into sound waves that allowed him to hear everything in the surroundings. In fact, there were even faint golden Buddhic runes flashing by his ears. The eyes of this figure opened, gleaming with a bright light as a hint of a smile could be seen in his deep and mysterious eyes. God Hand Mountain Manor. Emperor Yi, Emperor Yu. I truly didn't expect this. The young man mumbled in a low voice, after which he spoke, come in. As the sound of his voice faded, a figure appeared in the courtyard. The figure stared at the young man and greeted, Young Master Yu. So it turned out that this young man was none other than Jiang Ziyu, a heaven chosen from one of the three ancient clans of the Namhuang clan. He had once fought against Qin Wentian, and wasn't at a disadvantage. His combat prowess was extremely powerful and mysterious. Informed the clan that Emperor Yu has a connection with Emperor Yi. There's a high possibility that the God Hand Mountain Manor has the secret art of Emperor Yi. A faint smile appeared on Jiang Ziyu's face as he commanded, yes. The eyes of that expert flashed with surprise. Young Master Yu was actually able to obtain such news? When he thought of how powerful Jiang Ziyu was, his heart trembled. Right now in the entire Jiang clan, there were only a handful of immortal foundation geniuses that could be mentioned in the same breath as young Master Yu. Jiang Ziyu was the most outstanding heavens chosen of the Jiang clan in the past few hundred years. In the future he would definitely have great accomplishments. Many people only knew that his eyes were powerful, but they didn't know that his ears were as well. Only the members of the Jiang clan knew how powerful the ultimate arts of the Jiang clan were. That expert prepared to leave only to hear Jiang Ziyu interjected, hold on. Does young master you have any other instructions? That person asked, only to see a mysterious smile on Jiang Ziyu's face as he continued. Help me inform the people from the four great powers. Tell them to pay a price in exchange for this information. Remember, the price must be high. After you obtain it, spread the news to all the major powers. The eyes of that expert flashed. He didn't understand why Jiang Ziyu would do this. Just do as I say. Jiang Ziyu waved his hands, not going back on his words. Since he has decided on something, he only needed to execute it. Yes. That person retreated. He understood what he had to do. Jiang Ziyu was truly ruthless. In this case, the major powers of the southern regions would definitely be shaken. In fact, even major powers outside the southern regions would be implicated. For example, Zidi's power and Dongxing Heaven Emperor's power. The southern regions of the immortal realms were boundlessly vast. The major powers could be divided according to the three ancient clans. The Namhuang clan, the Jiang clan and the Ying clan each had their own territories. Although the Namhuang clan and the Jiang clan didn't have direct control, with them as the center, the surrounding areas were all under their influence. In truth, they had great control over these areas. Among these three powers, the Ying clan's territory was the most vast. Naturally, other than these three major powers, there were also many immortal emperors who had a strong influence on the surrounding powers. And below them, there were many sects established by immortal kings. They were also competing against each other unceasingly. The God Hand Mountain Manor was very close to the Namhuang clan's territory. However, the three ancient clans' control over this area wasn't that strong. In addition to the fact that there was an immortal emperor, Emperor Yu, the Namhuang clan didn't truly extend their influence over here. In this place, other than the God Hand Mountain Manor, there were also many other immortal king-rank powers. Qin Wentian and his group borrowed the power of an immortal weapon to soar through the air. The speed of the immortal weapon was extremely fast. It was a puppet phoenix that was extremely vivid and lifelike. This puppet phoenix was extremely valuable, and was an immortal king-ranked divine weapon. Not only could it soar through the air, it could also attack and defend. It was only bestowed to Namhuang Yunxi after she became the holy successor. The immortal realms are truly vast. How long more do we need to reach there? Jun Mingchen asked. This was still the territory controlled by the Namhuang clan. They had to borrow the power of an immortal weapon to travel for such a long time. Looking at the map, we should be able to reach there within a day. Namhuang Yunxi spoke. She turned her head and glanced at Qin Wentian, who was currently cultivating with his eyes closed. She silently mused that this fellow was truly a cultivation maniac. Geniuses also needed to work hard. If not, no matter how high one's talent was, their accomplishments would still be limited. Because they had been rushing, Namhuang Yunxi and the others didn't know that right now, there were already many major powers that were heading in the same direction as them, towards the direction of the God Hand Mountain Manor. This was something completely unexpected. Regardless of Namhuang Yunxi or Qin Wentian, none of them would have expected Jiang Ziyu to have the divine ears of the Buddhist sect, able to hear sounds from 1,000 miles away. Also, Jiang Ziyu had clearly been watching them for a very long time before he left the Namhuang clan. Chapter 1059. The God Hand Mountain Manor was located in a mountain forest with beautiful scenery. Throughout the year, the air here was cool and refreshing, akin to an immortal realm. Qin Wentian and the others finally arrived outside the mountain manor. This immortal emperor manor was very quiet, and there were servants guarding the entrance. In order to show his respect to the owner of the manor, Qin Wentian naturally got off the phoenix boat. He then spoke. The holy successor of the Namhuang clan, Namhuang Yunxi, is here to pay a visit to Senior Emperor Yu. I hope that you can inform him of my arrival. Namhuang Yunxi revealed her identity the moment she arrived. She naturally wanted to gain the respect of immortal emperors. Not everyone had the qualifications to meet with immortal emperors. If she wanted to pay a visit just like that, wouldn't the immortal emperor be extremely busy? That servant glanced at Namhuang Yunxi before smiling. Everyone, please follow me into the manor first. There will be housekeeper Lu to receive you all. Right. Namhuang Yunxi nodded her head lightly. After that, she followed the servant and entered the manor. There were pavilions and pavilions within the manor, as well as artificial mountains and lakes. The environment was quiet and tranquil, truly a rare place for cultivation. A white-robed middle-aged man walked over. He was slightly plump and had a smile on his face, exuding a sense of joy. Since the holy successor of the Namhuang clan is able to come all the way here, I, Lu, apologize for not going out to welcome you. This white-robed man was none other than housekeeper Lu of the manor. His smiling eyes were immeasurably deep, and although he didn't exude any aura, he gave off an unfathomable feeling. Being able to work as a housekeeper in the manor of an immortal emperor, his cultivation base was definitely extraordinary. He should be an immortal king expert. Housekeeper Lu is too polite. Juniors took the liberty to disturb you. I hope that Housekeeper Lu won't take offense. Namhuang Yunxi smiled. I, Namhuang Yunxi of the Namhuang clan, have some matters that I wish to meet with Senior Emperor Yu. I wonder if Senior Emperor Yu is willing to meet with Junior? Are you here for the God's hand? Housekeeper Lu smiled as he stared at Namhuang Yunxi. His eyes were narrowed, and no one could tell what he was thinking. However, this caused the expressions of Namhuang Yunxi and the others to freeze. Indeed, Namhuang Yunxi felt bewildered in her heart. Senior, how did you know? Holy Maiden, please follow me. Butler Lu spoke. After that, he brought everyone into the mountain manor. The God Hand Mountain Manor occupied a vast area and was extremely spacious. An instant later, Butler Lu brought everyone to an empty plot of land and pointed to a pavilion ahead. There were several silhouettes there as Butler Lu spoke. They are here for this as well. Before Steward Lu opened his mouth, Namhuang Yunxi, Qin Wentian, and the others fixed their eyes there, staring at those figures with slightly unpleasant expressions. Why was he here? How have you been, Saintess Yunxi? At this moment, a young man from the other side of the pavilion walked over. This young man was none other than Jiang Ziyu from the Jiang clan. He actually rushed ahead of Namhuang Yunxi and entered the God Hand Mountain Manor. Jiang Ziyu. Namhuang Yunxi furrowed her brows, as though she was contemplating why Jiang Ziyu would appear here. Brother Qin, my invitation is still valid. Brother Qin, are you willing to follow me to the Jiang clan as a guest? The Jiang clan will definitely treat you as an honored guest. Jiang Ziyu smiled at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian stared at him. Butler Lu said that Jiang Ziyu also came here for the God Hand Mountain Manor? How could there be such a coincidence in this world? Jiang Ziyu received the news at the same time as them, and came to the God Hand Mountain Manor. Evidently, Jiang Ziyu wasn't surprised at all when he saw them. In fact, it was as though he was waiting for them here. Evidently, he already knew that they would come. You are staring at us? Qin Wentian didn't reply, but coldly asked. Jiang Ziyu had a mysterious smile on his face and didn't reply. He then spoke. Why? Are all of you here for the God Hand as well? What a coincidence. I've seen it before in the ancient records of the Namhuang clan. There are some extremely mysterious innate techniques in the Buddhist path, such as the Heavenly Eye innate technique and the Divine Ear innate technique, allowing one to see things from 1,000 miles away and listen to the wind from 1,000 miles away. I've always heard that the descendants of the Jiang clan are proficient in the Buddhist path. Young Master Jiang, as an outstanding heavens chosen of the Jiang clan, I'm sure you must have extraordinary attainments in the Buddhist path. Since you can see through the leaves of the parasol tree in our Namhuang clan, it seems like you might be able to listen to the wind from 1,000 miles away. Namfeng Xinga smiled at the side. Momentarily, Namhuang Yunxi and Qin Wentian were all enlightened. Jiang Ziyu had exchanged blows with Qin Wentian before, and he knew that Qin Wentian cultivated an incomplete God's hand. If he really kept staring at him, when he exited the Namhuang clan, he would be able to listen to the wind from 1,000 miles away, and hear the conversation between him and Namhuang Yunxi. Given Jiang Ziyu's intelligence, he would be able to easily deduce many things. There was no doubt that they were targeted by Jiang Ziyu. Miss Xinga's knowledge is truly extraordinary. Jiang Ziyu smiled at Namfeng Xinga. He was very calm, he didn't mind at all that Namhuang Yunxi and the others knew about this. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with coldness. Initially, if they were the only ones here, given the status of the Namhuang clan, in addition to the fact that he had cultivated God's hand, and could be considered half a successor of ancient Emperor Yi, Emperor Yu would definitely allow him to cultivate the complete version of God's hand. But now that Jiang Ziyu interfered, it was very hard for Emperor Yu to be biased towards them. The Namhuang clan and the Jiang clan were both powerful clans in the southern regions, and Emperor Yu was someone who cultivated in peace. The best solution was to let them compete among themselves. Butler Lu, Is Emperor Yu in the manor? Nam Huang Yunqi no longer glanced at Jiang Ziyu. She turned to the white-robed butler and asked, Emperor Yu has gone out to roam the world. However, I have already informed him. As for when he would return, I have no idea. I have no right to ask about Emperor Yu's matters. Butler Lu spoke apologetically. Holy Maiden of Southern Huang came from afar. Why don't you temporarily stay in the manor? I will arrange accommodations for all of you. Right. Junior will have to trouble the manor for a period of time. Nam Huang Yunqi nodded. Clearly, she wouldn't come here for nothing. The secret art of ancient Emperor Yi, God's hand, was a major matter. She had to do her best to help Qin Wentian obtain the complete version. Everyone, please follow me. Butler Lu spoke. Nam Huang Yunqi and the others followed him. Not long later, Butler Lu arranged their accommodations. The environment was exquisite, with a small bridge and flowing water. However, Qin Wentian and the others weren't in a good mood. This Jiang Ziyu is truly sinister. Look at him, he's asking for a beating. Jun Mingchen unhappily spoke. Although I'm unhappy with him, Jiang Ziyu is truly a tough character to deal with. He's extremely powerful. Qin Wentian coldly spoke. Namfeng Shunga also nodded in agreement. Back then, I personally witnessed the battle in the ancestral lands. Jiang Ziyu is truly extraordinary. He came out to temper himself, and the Jiang clan would definitely regard him highly. His status should be equal to the holy successor. We have to be careful of him. Now we can only wait. Nam Huang Yunqi faintly spoke. Emperor Yu wasn't here. Now, they could only wait for him to return. Qin Wentian and Nam Huang Yunqi stayed in the God Hand Manor. It was just that they didn't expect that before Emperor Yu returned, there would already be experts arriving at the manor. Among them, Zidi and the disciples of Dongxing Heaven Emperor were included. Within the God Hand Manor, Qin Wentian and Nam Huang Yunqi stared at Dongxing Ting and the others. Their eyes flickered with coldness, as though there was a faint killing intent within. Other than Dongxing Ting and his group, there were also experts from other powers arriving. Among them was Kong Yi, whom Qin Wentian met in the ancestral lands of the Namhuang clan. Kong Yi brought his subordinates here, and according to Namfeng Shunga, several major powers from the southern regions have also arrived. It seems like the news has already been circulated. Evidently, this was done by Jiang Ziyu and his group. You guys are truly like ghosts that won't leave us alone. Qin Wentian coldly spoke as he stared at Dongxing Ting and the others. Nam Huang Yunqi, since we are already out of the southern Phoenix Immortal City, the Holy Maiden wouldn't interfere in the grudge between us and Qin Wentian, right? Dongxing Ting stared at Nam Huang Yunqi as he spoke. Qin Wentian is a good friend of mine. Nam Huang Yunqi calmly spoke, her words causing Dongxing Ting's expression to turn heavy. The Namhuang clan was determined to interfere in this matter. I'm afraid the Holy Maiden won't be able to stop us. Dongxing Ting threatened. You guys might have many experts, but do you really think the holy successor of the Namhuang clan would come out alone? Namfeng Shunga smiled. If there's anyone who dares to offend the Holy Maiden, I'm afraid none of you will be able to walk out of here alive. Both sides fell into silence as a faint pressure permeated the atmosphere. Do you only know how to hide behind women? Dongxing Ting stared at Qin Wentian. In the past, it was Qing'er and now, it was Nam Huang Yunqi. What was even more hateful was that both of them were extremely outstanding women regardless of talent or background. Qin Wentian frowned. He stared at Dongxing Ting and smiled. From your words, you don't want to rely on others to fight alone? Sure, bring it on. Qin Wentian spoke as he walked to the empty space. He had a smile on his face as he stared at Dongxing Ting in a provocative manner. Humph. Dongxing Ting's countenance was ice cold, yet he didn't move. Dongxing Ting, I truly feel ashamed for you. The son of the Dongxing Heaven Emperor has thrown his face all the way here. To think that you want my senior brother to not rely on others. Are you prepared to fight together with others? Do you have any shame? Jun Mingchen mocked as he stared at Dongxing Ting. Many people turned their gazes over, causing Dongxing Ting to feel a burning sensation on his face. Dongxing Ting, no matter what, you are the son of the Dongxing Heaven Emperor and your cultivation base is extremely high. Why don't you have the courage to fight? Jiang Ziyu, who was standing far away, laughed. This place seems to be very lively. At this moment, a voice rang out. After which, everyone only saw a golden bolt of lightning breaking through the air, as a figure stood proudly in the air. His eyes gleamed with sharpness as he smiled at everyone, exuding an extraordinary aura. The gazes of everyone turned to him. Jiang Ziyu's eyes flickered as he smiled. Who from the Ying clan are you? The Ying clan. The hearts of everyone trembled. Have all the experts from the 3 great clans of the southern regions arrived? The strength of the Ying clan was extremely terrifying. The Ying clan of the royal emperor city established the Ying Immortal Empire, and was an immortal empire with terrifying influence. The members of this clan were the most tyrannical among the 3 great clans of the southern regions. Yingting. The young man spoke. Jiang Ziyu's eyes flashed. He had heard of Yingting's name before. Who are you? Yingting counter-asked. Jiang Ziyu. Haha, a genius of the Jiang clan. Very good. These ladies over here should be the holy maidens of the Namhuang clan, right? It's rumored that the holy successor of the Namhuang clan is Namhuang Yunxi. Is she here? Yingting's gaze roamed around Namhuang Yunxi and Nanfeng Xinga before finally landing on Namhuang Yunxi. This is none other than the holy successor of my Namhuang clan, Namhuang Yunxi. Nanfeng Xinga smiled as she introduced. After that, Yingting's gaze sharpened. He then turned to the others. Seems like many major powers of the southern regions have arrived. How unexpected. The secret art of the ancient emperor, God's hand, has always been hidden in the southern regions. Chapter 1060. The arrival of the Ying clan caused the God-Hand Mountain Manor to become the center of the storm in the southern regions. The 3 major clans of the southern regions gathered here. This was an extremely rare scene. Only the ultimate arts of ancient emperors would have such rallying power. Not only so, in the following days, the God-Hand Mountain Manor truly became the center of attention of the entire southern regions. Other than the 3 strongest ancient clans, the other emperor-rank powers also sent their experts over, entering the God-Hand Mountain Manor. Zidi and Dongsheng Heaven Emperor also came as reinforcements. The experts from the Namhuang clan no longer hid in the shadows and directly showed themselves to protect Namhuang Yunxi and the others. Right now, the situation at the God-Hand Mountain Manor was simply too chaotic. Not only did the juniors arrive, many immortal kings also arrived, as well as many experts in the shadows, eyeing the God-Hand Mountain Manor like tigers watching their prey. Such a situation caused Qin Wentian to be extremely unhappy. Jiang Ziyu leaked the news, causing the difficulty of obtaining God's hand to increase by many times. Qin Wentian knew that Emperor Yu should already be clear of the situation at the God-Hand Mountain Manor, but he still didn't show himself, because this matter implicated the major powers of the southern regions. Even as an immortal emperor, he had no choice but to be cautious. Today, Butler Lu finally informed everyone that Emperor Yu has returned, and would be meeting with them soon. The God-Hand Mountain Manor was extremely vast, and there were several hundred people here. These people were all from the major powers of the immortal realms, and below the mountain manor, there were even more people who didn't even have the qualifications to step foot into the mountain manor. The people in the mountain manor were all from the major powers of the southern regions. What qualifications did ordinary characters have to compete against them? Qin Wentian and Namhuang Yunxi sat in a pavilion. Behind them, there were experts from the Namhuang clan guarding them. There are so many people here. Things are going to be troublesome. Jun Mingchen glanced at the experts in the surroundings. Even if Emperor Yu really had God's hand, it was basically impossible for him to hand it over to them alone. This would undoubtedly offend the other major powers. Qin Wentian sat there, feeling a cold aura boring down on him. Turning his gaze over, he saw Zi Daolong. Before this, they had already met before. Zi Daolong was none other than Zi Daoyang's elder brother, the son of Zidi, an immortal king. How long do you think the Namhuang clan can protect you? Zi Daolong asked indifferently. Zidi. A mocking smile appeared on Qin Wentian's face. He didn't reply. This caused Zi Daolong's expression to stiffen. What are you laughing at? I'm laughing at Zidi for not living up to his name. Qin Wentian spoke. Everyone knows who the culprit behind Zi Daoyang's death is. Wuxia of the Myriad Devil Islands. You guys don't have the guts to kill your way to the Myriad Devil Islands to seek revenge. Yet you guys want to use me as a scapegoat? Even if you guys really killed me, it would only be a joke. Don't try to provoke me. I will naturally kill Wuxia. As for you, I will also not spare you. Zi Daolong coldly threatened. Zi Daolong, in the future, it's best that you don't challenge others. Qin Wentian didn't mind it. He then continued. If you challenge others, most probably others would give in to you. What if they accidentally defeat you and you die mysteriously? If that happens, Zidi would go and seek revenge from the person who defeated you? That would truly be unlucky. Uft. Jun Mingchen laughed. Nanfeng Shinga also had a smile on her face. Many people were staring at Zi Daolong. Although Zidi's actions weren't very glorious, they could still understand. That was the lofty Zidi. His son was killed. How could the arrogant him not find those who implicated him in the death of his son? This was the tyranny of those with authority. Even if he was unreasonable, he would still be in the right. You seem to have offended quite a lot of people. I heard from them that you have even cultivated God's hand? A voice drifted over. It was none other than Yingting, a member of the Ying clan. He discovered that Qin Wentian was very interesting. Jiang Ziyu, Dong Xingting and Zidi's subordinates all had grudges with him. Sir, I'm afraid you've offended quite a lot of people as well. It's just that many people don't dare to look for you. Qin Wentian casually smiled. Bullying the weak and fearing the strong was the nature of humans. If he was a direct descendant of the Namhuang clan. As for immortal emperors like the Xian Emperor and the Shao Emperor, would their disciples dare to look for trouble with him? Most probably, even Zidi would give him some face. After all, he wasn't the one who killed Zi Daoyang. Brother Qin's words are logical. Why don't you join my Jiang clan? I can guarantee that my Jiang clan will help Brother Qin to resolve all these troubles. How about it? Jiang Ziyu spoke again. This Jiang Ziyu was mysterious and unfathomable, half human and half ghost. He didn't seem like an enemy, nor did he seem like a friend. His actions were very puzzling, but there was no doubt that he was an extremely powerful character. It was also impossible for Qin Wentian to join the Jiang clan. I, Qin, appreciate Brother Zhang's kind intentions. It's just that I don't have the fortune to enjoy it. Qin Wentian smiled as he rejected. The two of them spoke without any anger. Jiang Ziyu already knew the answer. He smiled faintly. At this moment, a mysterious aura descended, following which, an ethereal voice echoed throughout this space. Guests from afar, since all of you have arrived, no matter who you are, please come up to the mountain manor for a chat. There's no need to stand on ceremony. This voice enveloped a vast area. Even people several hundred miles away could hear it clearly. At this moment, more and more experts arrived, all of them exuding extraordinary auras. All of them were immortal kings. At the same time, many people from the southern regions of the immortal realms headed towards the mountain manor. In just a short period of time, the God Hand Mountain Manor was already filled with people. Luckily, the mountain manor was extremely vast, and this empty space extended all the way to the mountain range in the distance. Let alone these people. Even an army of 100,000 could be easily accommodated. At this moment, in the direction of the Jiang clan, a figure appeared. After that, the experts of the Jiang clan all stood up and bowed respectfully. That expert turned his gaze over and landed on Jiang Ziyu. Granduncle. Jiang Ziyu smiled. Ziyu. The expert from the Jiang clan nodded to Jiang Ziyu as he transmitted his voice. I heard that you obtained the news from the Namhuang clan and spread it out. Why did you intentionally spread the news? Granduncle, I don't believe that the Namhuang clan didn't covet the secret art of an ancient emperor. Since they knew that the secret art is here, why didn't they come here before? Granduncle, do you believe me? Jiang Ziyu smiled as he replied. His granduncle nodded. There was only one possibility. The Namhuang clan negotiated with Emperor Yu, but there was no result. I think it should be because of the appearance of Qin Wentian. That's why the Namhuang clan told him about the location of the secret art. Qin Wentian has cultivated a portion of God's hand. Jiang Ziyu continued to transmit his voice. His granduncle didn't say anything more. This God Hand Mountain Manor was closer to the Namhuang clan. If their Jiang clan and the Namhuang clan fought for it, the probability of the Namhuang clan obtaining God's hand would be higher. Regardless of whether it was in terms of location or Qin Wentian having cultivated a portion of God's hand, Jiang Ziyu intentionally blew this matter up. In that case, it wouldn't just be a conflict between the Jiang clan and the Namhuang clan. Friends, do you really want me to invite all of you before you are willing to come out? That ethereal voice rang out once more. After that, many people laughed heartily as several figures appeared. In fact, it was impossible to see their movement techniques or where they came from. The experts of the Namhuang clan, including Namhuang Yunxi, all stood up, staring at the figure of the maiden who just appeared. This maiden was clad in a luxurious phoenix robe and exuded an extraordinary aura. We pay our respects to Holy Maiden Guhong. Everyone bowed. Namfeng Guhong was one of the holy maidens of the Southern Phoenix Matriarch, and has already broken through to the Immortal Emperor realm. She was extremely powerful, and was a trusted aide of the Southern Phoenix Matriarch. There were many things that the Southern Phoenix Matriarch would pass to her to handle. Most probably, the Southern Phoenix Matriarch's arrival was the will of the Southern Phoenix Matriarch. Yunxi. Namfeng Guhong turned her gaze to Namhuang Yunxi. Her expression was calm as she spoke. The clan bestowed upon you the Jiue Palace. You have to work hard. Yunxi understands. Namhuang Yunxi nodded lightly. Shunga, it's the same for all the other holy maidens. Do your best and don't forget to cultivate. Namfeng Guhong glanced at Namfeng Shinga as she instructed. Namfeng Shinga nodded. This immortal Emperor Guhong, before her was none other than her role model. Even as a holy maiden, she could also break through to the Immortal Emperor realm and accompany the Southern Phoenix Matriarch. Qin Wentian had a look of contemplation in his eyes. The Namhuang clan told him the location of the secret art. Other than repaying him, they clearly had other intentions. However, this was also normal. Back then, ancient Emperor Yi used this secret art to sweep through the immortal realms. Which major power would be willing to let it go? The Namhuang clan was no exception. Not only for the Jiang clan and Namhuang clan, the Ying clan also had an immortal emperor in the future. Other than this, Qin Wentian also saw a familiar silhouette. The Dongxing Heaven Emperor had personally arrived. The Dongxing Heaven Emperor appeared before Dongxing Ting. His expression was calm, and he casually glanced at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian understood that the Dongxing Heaven Emperor most probably wanted nothing more than to kill him with a single slap. However, the Dongxing Heaven Emperor couldn't act personally. He, Qin Wentian, was someone from the immortal Qianbian Gate on the surface. Immortal emperors couldn't directly interfere in the battle between the two powers. If Dongxing Heaven Emperor dared to kill him, the Emperor of Qianbian would also dare to kill Dongxing Ting. This was the agreement between both parties. Not far away from the Dongxing Heaven Emperor, an extremely imposing immortal emperor appeared. Qin Wentian had seen this immortal emperor before in the City of Ancient Emperors, but he only saw his immortal sense. This time around, he saw the true body of this immortal emperor. Zidi was clad in violet robes and had a slender figure. His eyes gleamed with a faint violet light, exuding an imposing aura. This time around, Zidi personally came instead of sending his subordinates. Other than the Violet Emperor, there were also immortal emperors like the Xian Emperor and the Shao Emperor, as well as several immortal emperors from the southern regions. This caused Qin Wentian to truly feel the allure of the complete version of God's hand, attracting immortal emperors from the various regions. Emperor Yu, aren't you putting on airs a little too much? Zidi exuded an imposing aura as he spoke. As the sound of his voice faded, a burst of hearty laughter rang out as several figures walked over from the manor. The man in the lead exuded an ethereal aura. Exuding an ethereal aura. This man was none other than Emperor Yu. This Emperor Yu was a character from the same generation as ancient Emperor Yi. It was unknown how long he had lived. Chapter 1061. Emperor Yu smiled as he walked over. There were 2 other people beside him, all of them exuding an unfathomable aura. This caused the eyes of the immortal emperors to flash. The cultivation bases of these 2 were also extremely high. Since everyone is here to pay a visit, I'm not allowed to put on airs? Since this is the case, why did you come here? Emperor Yu smiled as he stared at Zidi. His tone was calm, exuding a transcendent aura, without a hint of anger in it. Zidi's eyes flashed with violet light, exuding a terrifying might. If it was an ordinary character with a lower cultivation base, they would have no choice but to submit under his gaze. Umph! Zidi coldly snorted. Emperor, you didn't mind it at all. He turned his gaze to the immortal emperors and spoke. If there's anyone who doesn't like the airs of an old man like me, feel free to leave. I won't beg any of you. Senior Emperor, you must be joking. No matter what, when Senior Emperor you became famous, I was still very young. Namfeng Guhong smiled, her tone extremely polite. The fairies of the Namhuang clan really know how to talk. Emperor Yu nodded lightly to Namfeng Guhong. I know that everyone received the news and came here for the secret art of Transcendent Emperor Yi, God's hand. Back then, Senior Emperor Yi relied on this secret art to dominate the immortal realms. After that, the secret art was lost and there was no more God's hand in the immortal realms. Since everyone is here, I believe you all won't leave until you see it. I won't hide this from everyone. The secret art of ancient Emperor Yi is with me. I, Emperor Yu, am the protector of this secret art. The eyes of everyone flashed. They didn't expect Emperor Yu to admit it so readily. However, just like what Emperor Yu has said, with so many immortal emperors here, if Emperor Yu didn't give a satisfactory answer, these immortal emperors wouldn't leave so easily. At this moment, the experts in the manor all fell silent. They stared at Emperor Yu, waiting for him to continue speaking. There are many immortal emperors here. As immortal emperors, all of you have clearly cultivated your own secret arts and techniques for many years. You should know how difficult it is to cultivate a powerful secret art. The more you want to cultivate it to the peak, the more time you need to accumulate your foundation. Right now, even if all of you immortal emperors obtain the secret art of God's hand and changed your cultivation path, would it be able to surpass the supreme innate techniques you cultivated? As expected, Emperor Yu continued to speak. I'm afraid that might not be the case. In any case, let me say something unpleasant to the ears. Because your astral souls are different, all of you are proficient in different domains and have already reached a certain level in a certain domain. As for God's hand, it is a secret art that is completely different from the energy you all cultivate. Even if God's hand is placed before your eyes, I'm afraid it would be extremely difficult for you all to successfully cultivate it. There's no need for Emperor Yu to worry about this. It's fine as long as you hand God's hand to us. This person's eyes were incomparably sharp, glowing with a golden light. His entire body exuded a wild aura. Beside him was a young man Qin Wentian had met before in the Namhuang clan, Zhongzhan. Clearly this person was a demon emperor, a golden heaven-warring condor. Fine. I will hand God's hand over to you all. Let's see if you all can cultivate it. Emperor Yu straightforwardly nodded his head in agreement. Even that demon emperor felt somewhat bewildered. This Emperor Yu was a little too straightforward. As the protector of this secret art, would he really hand over God's hand so easily? Everyone, please step aside. I will imprint God's hand on this piece of land. Emperor Yu calmly spoke. The eyes of everyone flashed as they retreated. We still need to retreat further. Everyone retreat. Emperor Yu flicked his sleeves. Although everyone didn't understand, they still retreated. Since Emperor Yu agreed, there was no way he would play any tricks. What sort of characters were the people here? Emperor Yu was an immortal emperor, and was naturally extremely intelligent. He knew the consequences of making a fool out of them. Emperor Yu's figure slowly soared up into the air. The 2 beside him also retreated. An instant later, Emperor Yu appeared in the air. His white hair fluttered even though there was no wind. His long robes fluttered as a raging wind gusted. A fearsome might gushed forth from him, instantly enveloping the surroundings. In the center of Emperor Yu's brows, a terrifying divine light radiated resplendently, incomparably resplendent. In just a short instant, Emperor Yu's surroundings shone with golden light as countless ancient runes floated in the center of his brows, exuding boundless might. Abruptly, a terrifying beam of light shot out from him, blasting towards the ground. Boom boom boom. At this instant, the entire space trembled as boundless runic light shot towards the ground. A gigantic golden diagram appeared there, containing ancient runes that towered up into the sky, exuding an unfathomable might. Emperor Yu's might didn't diminish at all. Boundless immortal sense gushed forth, blasting into the ground, causing the entire area to turn golden, transforming into a terrifying formation. Finally, when everything came to an end, the gazes of everyone turned to the great earth. Countless runic inscriptions flowed about, as numerous ancient characters floated in the air, as though they were three-dimensional existences. What was even more terrifying was that there was actually a golden figure standing there. This figure was formed from countless runic inscriptions, and its entire body seemed to be a body of a talisman. It exuded a terrifying might that could cause one's soul to tremble. Emperor Yu floated in the air, staring at the stunned crowd as he spoke. This is the ultimate art of God's hand. Everyone can cultivate it. I hope that everyone will be able to succeed in it. Zidi took the lead and stepped out, instantly appearing below the gigantic golden diagram. Zidi closed his eyes and quietly sensed it. Bzz. Numerous figures stepped out at the same time, entering the diagram. Nanfeng Guhong spoke. If any of you want to enter, don't leave my side. Yes. Everyone nodded. There were simply too many experts here. Nanfeng Guhong, as an immortal emperor, would be able to protect them. Nanfeng Guhong also stepped in. Qin Wentian also entered the diagram, bathing in boundless runic light. Qin Wentian closed his eyes as numerous ancient runes floated into his sea of consciousness. They were so clear and incomparably mystical. This was actually real, the ultimate art of God's hand. Qin Wentian had no distractions in his heart, immersing himself in it. He could deeply sense the profoundness of God's hand. He transformed the immortal energy in his body into runes, transforming them into corporeal ancient runes, stimulating the strength of his entire body, and not just his hands. All the energy in his body converged on his immortal foundation, transforming into a wondrous energy that could shake the heavens and earth. God's hand was like the hands of a divinity. God's hand wasn't an extremely complicated ultimate art. It was very simple yet incomparably profound, containing countless transformations within. One had to continuously comprehend it and grow stronger. If one couldn't comprehend it, they wouldn't even be able to gain an elementary understanding of it. There were many ultimate arts in the immortal realms that were cultivated step by step, from weak to strong. Even if one's talent wasn't very high, they would still be able to comprehend a little and unleash a small amount of power. However, God's hand was different. If one couldn't comprehend it, then they wouldn't be able to comprehend it. It wasn't something that could be cultivated step by step. As long as you comprehended it, you might be able to succeed in a single attempt. But how much power you could unleash would depend on your own comprehension abilities, how deep your comprehension was, and how much power you could unleash. God's hand wasn't a fixed method of attack. The cultivators were different, and the energy they were proficient in was different. God's hand was able to unleash countless transformations. 3 days later, everyone was still immersed in it, including the immortal emperors. Everyone, have you finished your cultivation? At this moment, a voice rang out, shaking the eardrums of everyone. This caused everyone to open their eyes and stare in the direction of Emperor Yu. They all stepped out, exiting the space filled with runic characters. However, their gazes were still fixed there as their brows were tightly furrowed. Zidi grabbed out with his hand as a gigantic palm imprint blasted out towards the sky. Emperor Yu laughed when he saw this. Is this God's hand? This should be a gigantic palm imprint, right? God's hand isn't complete. It only has the form but not the essence. Where is the essence of this ultimate art? Zidi inclined his head and stared at Emperor Yu. His eyes gleamed with violet light, exuding an imposing might. As an immortal emperor character in the immortal realms, you actually still need others to teach you the essence? Emperor Yu stared at Zidi and laughed. From this point alone, you are far inferior compared to the ancient Emperor Yi. Zidi's eyes narrowed. The violet qi in the air towered up into the sky, resembling a terrifying tempest. When Emperor Yu saw this, he asked, "Why? You can't evaluate it?" "I will step into the ancient Emperor realm." Zidi coldly spoke. "Now tell us, where is the other part?" "Inside the ancient mountain." At this moment, the immortal emperor from the Jiang clan spoke. His eyes gleamed with a divine light as he stared at the ancient mountain peaks behind the God Hand Mountain Manor. Over there, even his eyes couldn't see through it. There must be a secret hidden there. "Let's go and take a look." The demon emperor Golden Condor stepped out, wanting to head over. However, Emperor Yu laughed. "There's no need for you to act. You guys want to see the complete version of God's hand? I'm afraid none of you have the ability to do so. You speak too much nonsense." The golden battle chi from the demon emperor gushed forth. Emperor Yu glanced at a person beside him. That person's silhouette flashed as he flew towards the ancient mountain in the distance. An instant later, the clouds above the ancient mountain started to churn violently. There was actually a terrifying grand formation hidden within. The clouds dissipated, revealing a gigantic diagram that locked down the entire space. Emperor Yu stretched out his palm, and a resplendent golden light flashed in his palm. A golden arrow appeared in his hand, containing a torrential sharpness. Swish! A thunderous sound rang out. The arrow pierced through the air, instantly landing on the gigantic diagram. With a thunderous boom, the entire world seemed to change. A mysterious ancient mountain covered in churning clouds appeared in the vision of everyone. The immortal emperors here instantly sent their immortal senses out, wanting to probe it. They only felt that it was incomparably mysterious. Their immortal senses were all restricted. B. A raging wind gusted as demonic chi towered up into the sky. Golden light enveloped this entire space, incomparably resplendent. The demon emperor Golden Condor flapped its golden wings, and instantly entered the ancient mountain. The eyes of the immortal emperors flashed as they prepared to act. But at this very instant, a towering aura gushed forth as the Golden Condor soared up into the sky. Boundless golden light illuminated the area as a destructive palm manifested, blotting out the sun as it blasted out. The demon emperor roared, causing heaven and earth to shake violently. He retreated hundreds of kilometers in the blink of an eye, where rumbling sounds could be heard. The ground was torn apart, and the sky was split open by the golden light. The mountain peaks in the area were all crushed into powder. Roar! The demon emperor let out a heaven-shaking roar. His supreme combat might cause those with lower cultivation bases to prostrate on the ground. A palm imprint from the ancient mountain forced the demon emperor to retreat. Emperor Yu's eyes gleamed with sharpness. He swept his gaze over everyone as he spoke. "Even if there's an ultimate art within this ancient mountain, I'm afraid none of the immortal emperors here would be able to enter." Chapter 1062. A raging wind gusted as golden light flashed. The demon emperor Condor returned. His expression was incomparably sharp as he stared at Emperor Yu. "Why are you looking at me? I didn't ask you to enter. You guys are the ones who requested to enter." Emperor Yu calmly spoke. "Everyone here is an extraordinary character. Since all of you want to cultivate God's hand, I shall place God's hand before you all. Could it be that all of you want to blame me for failing? What a joke. What's in the ancient mountain?" Dongxing Heaven Emperor walked up and asked. The gazes of everyone turned to Emperor Yu. Seems like it wouldn't be so easy to obtain God's hand. Even if Emperor Yu allowed them to cultivate it, it would still be extremely difficult. "I've said it before, I'm merely the protector of the ultimate art. This ancient mountain was left behind by ancient Emperor Yi, and contains the essence of the so-called ultimate art you all want. Perhaps it might be able to enlighten you all. However, I have to remind everyone that this ancient mountain isn't so easy to enter. The stronger one's cultivation base is, the greater the influence they would feel, because the essence of the ultimate art you all will feel will be more real. It's so real that it's like a real attack, directly attacking you." Emperor Yu's eyes gradually turned sharp. Since so many experts came to the God Hand Mountain Manor, wanting to obtain God's hand, he might as well go with the flow. It was indeed about time for God's hand to appear. There were already some young men who managed to cultivate God's hand in the city of ancient emperors and came here. Now, it all depended on who had the fortune to obtain the complete secret art. As the protector of this secret art, he could also give up on everything. Ancient Emperor E is merely an ancient person. Can the will he left behind stop us? Ziti stood there arrogantly, his imposingness growing even more intense. He stared at the horizons with an eager look on his face. I don't wish to repeat myself. The complete secret art, God's hand, is right before your eyes. If you all have the ability, go ahead and obtain it. There's no need for me to waste my breath. I also know why everyone is here, and can't be bothered to waste words with an old man like me. Emperor, you calmly spoke. Ziti's silhouette flashed and instantly appeared at the entrance of the ancient mountain. Violet chi rose from the east. The entire space was filled with violet light. The silhouette of the Violet Emperor was like an ancient god, exuding boundless might. He stepped out, directly entering the ancient mountain. Ziti was a peak-stage immortal emperor character in the immortal realms. How powerful was he? If the true body of ancient Emperor E was here, Ziti would definitely feel inferior. However, this ancient mountain was left behind by ancient Emperor E. How could he, Ziti, be unable to enter? The silhouette of the Violet Emperor disappeared directly, entering the ancient mountain. A formless pressure emanated from the ancient mountain, causing everything within 1,000 miles to tremble. Everyone's hearts trembled along with it. Within the ancient mountain, violet light towered up into the skies as a supreme might enveloped the entire region. Although the experts of the God Hand Mountain Manor were very far away, they could feel the earth beneath their feet trembling unceasingly. In fact, there were even faint cracks appearing on the ground. Rumble. A terrifying pressure enveloped everyone. They had no way to see what was happening within the ancient mountain. Finally, boundless violet light shot up into the clouds as Ziti appeared there. The resplendent violet radiance seemed to have been shattered, and he appeared to be in a sorry state. His eyes were filled with violet light as he stared at the ancient mountain below with an extremely unsightly expression on his face. Even Ziti can't enter? The hearts of the crowd trembled. If Ziti couldn't enter, most probably none of the immortal emperors present here would be able to. Ziti wasn't willing to give up. He stepped into the ancient mountain once more as that oppressive pressure engulfed the sky once more. Not long after, Ziti came out again. This time around he didn't persist and chose to return to the God Hand Mountain Manor with an extremely unsightly expression on his face. Go in and try. Ziti spoke to an immortal king beside him. That immortal king nodded and stepped out, entering the ancient mountain. Everyone turned their gazes over, paying close attention to what was happening. Within the ancient mountain, another terrifying collision sound rang out. Although it wasn't as intense as before, it still caused the hearts of everyone to tremble. Not long after, that immortal king was forced back, coughing out a mouthful of blood. However, his life wasn't in danger. This ancient mountain was able to block Ziti, yet it couldn't even kill an immortal king. From this, one could tell that Emperor Yu didn't say anything. The stronger one's cultivation base was, the greater the effect would be. Emperor Xiao, why don't you let your daughter go in and try? Zi Daoyang stared at Xiao Lingyue as he spoke. Xiao Lingyue's cultivation base was the lowest among everyone here. She was only at the peak of celestial phenomenon, and had yet to break through to immortal foundation. The eyes of the Xiao Emperor flickered as he hesitated. Ziti's gaze was incomparably imposing, exuding a faint pressure. Although they were both immortal emperors, Ziti's cultivation base was higher than his. Hence, although immortal emperors were immortal emperors, in front of Ziti, they were no different from immortal kings. At the immortal emperor level, a single level higher could suppress someone to death. Father, let me try. Xiao Lingyue spoke. Only then did the Xiao Emperor nod. I will bring you over. After speaking, the Xiao Emperor brought Xiao Lingyue to the ancient mountain. Outside the ancient mountain, he placed Xiao Lingyue down and allowed her to enter. Within the ancient mountain no aura could be sensed. The Xiao Emperor saw Xiao Lingyue advancing step by step without any abnormalities. In fact, she wasn't even attacked at all. His gaze then turned to the direction of the God Hand Mountain Manor, as he felt a sense of shock in his heart. My daughter is in the ancient mountain, she isn't affected at all. The Xiao Emperor spoke. She isn't affected at all. This means that even if she entered, it would be pointless. Emperor Yu smiled. That place contains the divine essence of God's hand. If she can't even sense the divine essence, what's the point of entering? In that case, immortal kings and immortal foundation experts are the most suitable to enter the ancient mountain? An immortal emperor from the Jiang clan asked. Emperor Yu smiled but didn't reply. It's fine for people of any cultivation base to enter. It's up to you. God's hand is right before your eyes. Whether you can cultivate it or not depends on your luck. But let me remind all of you that God's hand is something all of you want to cultivate. I'll open the doors to allow all of you to come into contact with Senior Emperor Yi's secret art. I don't expect all of you to be grateful to me. But if your disciples or descendants die because of this secret art, don't blame it on this old man. If that's the case, you would truly be a laughing stock. Everyone wants you to stay here and not leave. If anything happens after we enter, we won't blame you. An immortal emperor from the Ying clan spoke, his words causing the other immortal emperors to nod as their eyes gleamed with sharpness. That's right, Emperor, you had to stay behind. If not, who knew if he would be able to control the energy within the ancient mountain? Okay, I will stay here and watch over everyone. Please do as you wish. Emperor, you didn't mind the overbearing request of the other party. He then spoke in a carefree manner. Men, prepare a banquet. This old man will stay here to entertain the guests who came from afar. Yes. The white-robed butler Lu nodded. After that, he left to instruct the subordinates of the manor. Not long after, there really was a banquet prepared. Emperor Yu sat there with a smile on his face, as though he was looking at the rising wind and surging clouds. Everyone, please feel free to do as you please. Emperor Yu waved his hands, as though he didn't care about anything. The other immortal emperors weren't as calm as Emperor Yu. They respectively sent their immortal kings to probe the ancient mountain. Not only for them, the immortal kings of the southern regions also entered as well. The ancient mountain trembled as the sounds of attacks rang out unceasingly. Those immortal kings were all blasted out, unable to enter the ancient mountain. In fact, there were even some who were injured. And this was merely the moment they entered the ancient mountain. It was unknown what secrets there were in the depths of the ancient mountain. Immortal kings couldn't enter, only immortal foundation experts could. They tried again, and as expected, the cultivation bases of immortal foundation experts were weaker. Hence, the attacks they encountered were weaker as well. But because their cultivation bases were lower, some of them were forced back, but there were also some who could advance. As they probed again and again, they seemed to have discovered a pattern. At this moment, the experts of the Namhuang clan sat together, enjoying the delicacies and wine. Their gazes surveyed the surroundings only to hear Nanfeng Guhong saying, God's hand isn't easy to obtain. How can the secret arts of ancient emperors be so easily comprehended? Qin Wentian laughed. You can tell? Nanfeng Guhong's gaze landed on Qin Wentian. Senior Emperor, you said that the ancient mountain contains the essence of the secret art. However, for those who enter, the stronger their cultivation base is, the stronger the attacks they would face. They would be able to comprehend the most, while those with weaker cultivation bases could easily enter. But if they couldn't see anything, what's the use of that? Hence, if one wants to comprehend the secret art, immortal kings and immortal foundation experts are the most suitable to enter. However, if they want to pry into the secrets of the secret art, they would have to endure attacks that far surpass their cultivation base. Qin Wentian spoke. I don't think so. If it's like what you said, there's no solution. I believe that ancient Emperor Yi left the secret art here because he wanted to find a successor, and not because he wanted to waste time. Only those who truly have the ability to enter the depths of the ancient mountain would have the qualifications to probe and pry into the secrets of the secret art. But clearly, this entrance has already been sealed by too many people. Nanfeng Guhong calmly spoke. Her thoughts were the same as the other immortal emperors. They were already prepared to send their most outstanding geniuses into the ancient mountain, including their descendants. Oh yeah, let me remind everyone again. If your immortal senses were to appear in there, you would instantly sense the divine essence of the secret arts in the ancient mountain. However, your immortal senses are far inferior compared to your true bodies, and would be instantly blasted into nothingness. Hence, when you send your descendants into the ancient mountain, you have to be more cautious. Emperor, Yu laughed, his words causing many immortal emperors to coldly glance at him. Although this was the case, they had no choice. Only by entering the ancient mountain would they be able to comprehend the secret art. Inside, this was the only chance. Their descendants had to personally enter. After all, the secret art wasn't a secret art. There was no way for them to bring it out. Ziyu, do you want to enter? The immortal emperor of the Jiang clan asked Jiang Ziyu. Since the opportunity has appeared, I naturally have to enter. Jiang Ziyu's eyes gleamed with sharpness. Good, I've already told my clan to send their geniuses over to accompany you into the ancient mountain. The immortal emperor of the Jiang clan spoke. Not only him, the Ying clan did the same as well. I'm afraid they will still send more people over. My Namhuang clan will also send some experts over to enter the ancient mountain. You guys should continue to comprehend the power of God's hand, and increase your chances of success. Namfeng Guhong spoke. The reappearance of God's hand in the southern regions would naturally cause a huge commotion. After several days, even more experts arrived at the God Hand Mountain Manor. Emperor Yu was still as carefree as ever, as though everything had nothing to do with him. He was just an outsider, watching the storm from the sidelines. After a few more days, the Emperor Qianbian and Bai Wuya also arrived. At the same time, there were also some people who Qin Wentian had never met before. All of them exuded extraordinary auras, and were at different levels of immortal foundation. Chapter 1063. More and more experts gathered at the God Hand Mountain Manor. The immortal emperors here tried many times and understood that immortal foundation was the best choice to enter the ancient mountain. Only they would have a chance to enter the depths of the ancient mountain and comprehend the divine essence of God's hand, obtaining the complete version. Hence, they gathered many immortal foundation geniuses from their sects here. In fact, there were already more and more immortal foundation experts who entered the ancient mountain. Some could only walk at the periphery and had no way to enter. However, there were also some outstanding geniuses who disappeared from the vision of the crowd. Clearly, they had already entered the depths of the ancient mountain. Qin Wentian wasn't in a hurry. He sat cross-legged and stared at the runic diagram of God's hand as he continued to comprehend the complete version. Leaving aside immortal emperors and immortal kings, their comprehension abilities might be extraordinary. But at the immortal foundation level, Qin Wentian was certain that no one would have a deeper comprehension of God's hand compared to him. After all, he was someone who had truly cultivated God's hand before, and could already unleash the power of God's hand. His comprehension of the complete version of God's hand grew increasingly deeper, and he knew how to activate it. Emperor Yu was as carefree as ever, sitting in a pavilion and enjoying the immortal banquet. No matter how many people came, he didn't care at all, allowing them to do what they wanted. It had nothing to do with him. Ziyu, are you still not going in? The immortal emperor of the Jiang clan stared at Jiang Ziyu, who was sitting cross-legged as he asked. There were already many people who entered the ancient mountain, including those from the Ying clan. Yet Jiang Ziyu was still unmoved. There's no hurry. Try to comprehend more of God's hand. The more proficient you are, the more beneficial it would be for you to comprehend the divine essence of God's hand. In addition, I'm waiting for someone to enter first. Jiang Ziyu calmly spoke. He glanced at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian had already cultivated God's hand before. Since Qin Wentian wasn't in a hurry, why should he, Jiang Ziyu, be in a hurry? In that case, I will get the people from the Jiang clan to wait for you. The Jiang clan's great emperor spoke. Among the people here, although they were all members of the Jiang clan, Jiang Ziyu's talent was the highest, and his status was the highest among them. If there was someone who could comprehend God's hand, Jiang Ziyu would have the greatest chance. The others came here to assist Jiang Ziyu. Namfeng Guhong was also in no hurry. She turned her gaze to Qin Wentian and Namhuang Yunxi, allowing the Namhuang clan to follow them into the ancient mountain. Qin Wentian continued to comprehend for several days. His body glowed with immortal light as a huge transformation occurred. Numerous complicated runes appeared as his immortal foundation transformed into various diagrams, transforming into a powerful energy that stimulated his immortal body. However, he was still a step away. Just like back then when Qin Wentian entered the underground palace together with Shaolin Yue, he was only able to comprehend the form of God's hand. Only after he saw the blood-colored runes in the underground palace would he be able to unleash the true power of God's hand. The secret should be hidden somewhere in the ancient mountain. Today, a mysterious figure appeared in the God Hand Mountain Manor. Beside this mysterious figure was a black hound that exuded a baleful aura. Its eyes gleamed with a terrifying coldness, and everyone who came into contact with the black hound's gaze would feel a chill down their spines. The person beside the black hound was clad in a long robe and exuded an unfathomable aura. It was impossible to tell his age and appearance because he had a mysterious bronze mask on his face. His exposed eyes were deep and cold, causing people to be able to sense the sharpness in them. At the same time, they could also sense that this person wasn't very old and should be a young man. His cultivation base was only at the immortal foundation realm. Jiang Ziyu turned his gaze to the mysterious figure. His eyes turned terrifying as he stared into the eyes of the mysterious figure, wanting to see through everything. At the same time, the mysterious figure seemed to have sensed his gaze and turned back to him as well. Jiang Ziyu saw a pair of extremely deep and terrifying eyes. The power contained in the mysterious figure's eyes had no way to hide. It was completely blocked, he couldn't see through it. Jiang Ziyu's eyes flashed. He didn't expect that there would be another interesting person here. Things were getting more and more interesting. The mysterious young man with the bronze mask swept his gaze over everyone before closing his eyes to meditate. Everyone saw that he was alone and didn't pay much attention to this mysterious figure. In fact, there were even some who silently mused that this mysterious figure was trying to act mysterious. At this moment, Qin Wentian stood up. The gazes of many turned to him, only to see Qin Wentian nodding his head to the Emperor of Qianbian and by Wuxia. Seems like your life in the Namhuang clan isn't too bad. The Emperor of Qianbian stared at the beauties beside Qin Wentian as he smiled. Luckily, the Namhuang clan has been taking good care of me. Qin Wentian laughed. Seems like your harvest this time around isn't small. Now it's time for you to enter. The Emperor of Qianbian spoke. Right. Qin Wentian nodded. After that, he turned his gaze onto the ancient mountain and stepped out, moving in that direction. Namhuang Yunxi and the others from the Namhuang clan followed after him. The group of young men beside the Emperor of Qianbian and by Wuxia also stepped out, preparing to enter the ancient mountain. Jiang Ziyu of the Jiang clan stood up and spoke, "Let's go." As the sound of his voice faded, they all moved towards the ancient mountain. Dong Xingting stared at the silhouette of Qin Wentian as a cold light flashed in his eyes. After that, he and the other disciples of the other immortal emperors stepped out at the same time, moving towards the ancient mountain. It was as though because of Qin Wentian's actions, all of them would be affected. After the group entered the ancient mountain, the mysterious figure with the bronze mask gently stroked his black hound, before bringing the black hound with him into the ancient mountain. Very swiftly, the number of people here grew fewer and fewer. Only a few immortal emperors and emperors remained, as well as those who couldn't enter the ancient mountain. With so many geniuses entering the ancient mountain in search of good fortune, there would surely be many who would die here. Also, there would definitely be descendants of those who are present here. I've already warned everyone, don't blame this old man if they die here. This is the path you all chose for yourselves. Emperor, you spoke, his voice filled with coldness. Zidi coldly snorted. Among his descendants, Zi Daoyang was the youngest and had the lowest cultivation base. As for his other descendants, none of them were at the immortal foundation realm. This time around, He ordered one of his nephews with outstanding talent to enter the ancient mountain. Naturally, there would definitely be people who would die here. The Dongxing Heaven Emperor coldly spoke as he glanced in the direction of the Emperor of Qianbian. Eastern sage, if Qin Wentian and Dongxing Ting encountered each other alone, who do you think would die? The Emperor of Qianbian laughed as he stared at the Dongxing Heaven Emperor. The Dongxing Heaven Emperor's eyes flashed with coldness. Naturally, Qin Wentian would die. Is that so? Why did I hear that your son Dongxing Ting doesn't even have the courage to fight against Qin Wentian? The Emperor of Qianbian sarcastically spoke. Wuxia said that back then when you went to the particle world to recruit disciples, Qin Wentian was only an initial stage celestial phenomenon. At that time, Dongxing Ting was already a lofty immortal foundation cultivator. Yet he actually cowered from battle in the Namhuang clan. This son of yours is truly trash. I hope he would be able to walk out alive. The Dongxing Heaven Emperor's countenance was ice cold as a violent might gushed forth. The Emperor of Qianbian coldly laughed. Why? Do you want to fight again? Qianbian, I hope you can continue being so arrogant. The Dongxing Heaven Emperor threatened. His gaze then turned to Bai Wuxia, flickering with coldness. Back then in the particle world, if it wasn't for Bai Wuxia's timely arrival, his Dongshengxian Gate would have already annihilated the experts from the immortal Qianbian Gate, who came to the particle world. Qin Wentian and the others had already arrived at the top of the ancient mountain. The interior of this ancient mountain was extremely mysterious, containing a marvelous aura. All of a sudden, a voice drifted into his ears like a bolt of lightning. He turned his gaze ahead only to see an illusory gigantic palm imprint abruptly materializing, slamming towards him. Qin Wentian's immortal foundation erupted forth as God's hand appeared, transforming into a terrifying palm that blasted out, colliding with the illusory gigantic palm imprint. The others all had their own reactions, but their reactions weren't as intense as Qin Wentian's. What mysteries does this ancient mountain contain exactly? Qin Wentian silently mused. He continued walking forward, staring at the space before him. The space before him seemed to interweave together, transforming into a divine light. Another voice rang out as a thunderous boom rang out. A terrifying bolt of lightning flashed in Qin Wentian's mind. This was none other than the power of the gigantic palm imprint. Rumble! Qin Wentian's body trembled violently as he groaned in misery. His countenance turned pale. This mysterious and unfathomable ancient mountain was simply terrifying. Namhuang Yunxi and Jun Mingchen also suffered attacks, but their attacks weren't as intense as Qin Wentian's. Although they felt uncomfortable, they could still endure it. There shouldn't be any problems for them to enter the ancient mountain. This was something the immortal emperors had tried many times before. Immortal Foundation characters were the most suitable candidates to enter the ancient mountain. Jiang Ziyu followed behind Qin Wentian and entered the ancient mountain. His eyes flickered with a terrifying light, containing a mysterious aura. Faint golden light radiated from him as a towering might gushed forth from his body. The white tiger killing god howled in rage as it slashed out. Evidently, his eyes could see something that others couldn't. Truly strange. Even at the immortal Foundation realm, I can see such a powerful aura. For immortal emperors, they could see through everything with a single glance the moment they entered the ancient mountain. Isn't this ancient emperor a little too shocking? Jiang Ziyu silently mused. He grew more vigilant, and didn't dare to casually open his heavenly eye of the Buddhist path. Dongxing Ting stared at the back view of Qin Wentian. To him, the main purpose of entering the ancient mountain was to kill Qin Wentian. As for the mysterious masked young man behind Dongxing Ting, he had already closed his eyes and sealed his six senses. He didn't seem to be affected in the slightest. He didn't come here for the sake of God's hand. Although I suffered an attack, the formless attack penetrated into my mind, penetrating through my body. Before this, I seemed to have gained a trace of insight into God's hand. Nanfeng Xinga spoke in a light voice. It's just that I'm still far from comprehending God's hand. Most probably, to the vast majority of people, this would be a pointless risk. That's true. Qin Wentian nodded. Everyone be more careful. As they spoke, they continued deeper into the ancient mountain. Before them, there were still many experts who entered the ancient mountain. Their speed was extremely slow. Chapter 1064. As the experts ventured deeper, there were gradually some who couldn't endure it any longer, having no way to continue forward. This ancient mountain seemed boundlessly deep and mysterious. Occasionally, a mystical sound would ring out, resembling the sound of the great Tao, causing everyone to tremble as though they were struck by lightning. Yet, Qin Wentian could feel a summoning force, urging him to continue advancing forward. The divine essence of God's hand seemed to be everywhere in this ancient mountain range. His gaze turned to a certain mountain. Instantly, Qin Wentian had an illusion that there was a gigantic diagram engraved on the mountain. The terrifying diagram was in the shape of a human, and all of a sudden, a fearsome palm imprint blasted out. Qin Wentian's gaze penetrated through everything, wanting to see through the palm imprint and the diagram. Stepping out, he pushed his strength to the limit as his immortal foundation shone with a resplendent light. God's hand appeared and blasted out. Rumble. The space trembled as a mountain-toppling and sea-overturning energy blasted out in all directions, slamming into the mountain rampart. However, it had no effect at all. Qin Wentian's eyes were still staring ahead. That terrifying gaze of his seemed to be able to see through everything, wanting to see through the divine essence diagram. Another mysterious energy manifested in his body as boundless runes circulated frenziedly. Rumbling sounds reverberated through the air as numerous gigantic palm imprints blasted over, exuding an overwhelming killing intent. A demon sword appeared in Qin Wentian's hand, humming as demonic qi gushed forth, resembling a great rock spreading its wings. The glow of God's hand shone brilliantly as the might of his immortal foundation gushed forth. With a slash of his sword, a towering great rock howled in rage, shattering the terrifying palm imprints unceasingly. Qin Wentian slowly walked up the air, heading straight for the palm imprints. Within the ancient mountain, a formless energy akin to the ringing of a bell directly rang out in his mind. It was like a bolt of lightning, causing the diagram in his mind to grow even clearer. However, his actions didn't pause at all. The demon sword danced about as numerous great rocks shattered the void, breaking apart everything. Finally, the divine essence gradually dimmed. However, Qin Wentian's eyes still gleamed with a resplendent divine light. Qin Wentian kept the demon sword and turned his head back, only to see several experts attacking the ancient mountain. Evidently, he wasn't the only one who sensed the divine essence within. Shunga. At this moment, a voice drifted over. Namfeng Shunga turned her gaze over only to see Kong Yi and Zhongzhan appearing there. The person who spoke was none other than Kong Yi. He then spoke. Shunga, this ancient mountain contains the Tao of laws and can transform them into attacks. Do you want to come with us? No need, we have quite a lot of people. Namfeng Shunga smiled and shook her head. Kong Yi glanced at Qin Wentian and the others from the Namhuang clan before nodding his head, and didn't say anything. Let's continue on our way. Qin Wentian spoke when he saw everyone stopping. Other than the people from the Namhuang clan, the people brought by Emperor Qianbian and by Wuxia were not far away from them. Behind them, Dongxing Heaven Emperor and Zidi's subordinates could be seen. Among them, Dongxing Ting and another young man were in the lead. This young man was none other than Zidi's nephew. His name was Zi Yunwu and his talent was extraordinary. Zidi regarded this nephew highly and imparted a secret art to him, causing Zi Yunwu to be extremely powerful. Dongxing Ting, Zi Yunwu and the others walked behind Qin Wentian. Their gazes were filled with coldness when they glanced at Qin Wentian. This caused Jiang Ziyu, who was not far away from them, to have a mysterious smile on his face. Seems like there would be a good show playing out in the ancient mountain. He only needed to wait and watch. Jiang Ziyu's gaze would occasionally turn to the young man with the bronze mask who was walking with his eyes closed. Black Hound followed behind him, traveling alone, with no companions. Sir, do you want to travel together? We can take care of each other during the journey. Jiang Ziyu spoke to the mysterious masked young man. No need. The other party merely replied. There were no fluctuations in his tone. Jiang Ziyu smiled. He didn't mind it at all. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had already passed since Qin Wentian and the others entered the ancient mountain. During these 3 days, the God Hand Mountain Manor was as calm as ever. Emperor Yu gave the order to prepare a grand banquet for everyone. This banquet lasted for several days and nights, and no matter who it was, they could all enter. Zidi, Dongxing Heaven Emperor and the others didn't leave. The various immortal emperors all sent their descendants to enter the ancient mountain. They naturally wanted to wait for the good news from them. Emperor Yu, is this ancient mountain truly left behind by ancient Emperor Yi? Zidi turned his gaze to Emperor Yu as he asked. Naturally. Emperor Yu smiled and nodded. If not, why would an ancient mountain make you, Zidi, unable to enter even if you wanted to? What cultivation level did ancient Emperor Yi reach exactly back then? Zidi asked again. You should have heard of it before. Emperor Yu laughed. Only those characters who could unify the immortal realms were at that cultivation realm. Even if you are a peak stage immortal emperor, you wouldn't be able to withstand a single strike from ancient Emperor Yi. He could kill you with a single wave of his hand. Umph. A look of unhappiness appeared on Zidi's face. Even if he knew that Emperor Yu's words were true, he would step into that realm sooner or later. Emperor Yu, ancient emperor, he left behind the divine essence of his ultimate art in the ancient mountain. This means that only those who enter the ancient mountain would be able to obtain the inheritance. For those who obtain the God's hand, it's useless even if we capture them. Seems like ancient Emperor Yi regarded this ultimate art with great importance, and was afraid that the inheritor would meet with misfortune. Dongxing Heaven Emperor laughed. For an ultimate art like God's hand, other than some unique ones, which other ultimate art would be so easy to cultivate? Even for Zidi's ultimate Violet Saint immortal art, could it be that those who captured Zidi's inheritor would be able to cultivate it? If it's so simple, wouldn't Zidi's inheritor be in danger? For the descendants of the Jiang clan and Namhuang clan, which of them would dare to roam the immortal realms alone? Emperor Yu coldly laughed. Dongxing Heaven Emperor is speaking nonsense. Emperor Yu, seems like you have a lot of resentment. Dongxing Heaven Emperor smiled. From what I know, God's hand reappeared in the city of ancient emperors, and was cultivated by a descendant. This time around, Emperor Yu inscribed the ultimate art here, and opened the ancient mountain. Does this have anything to do with him? You want to ask if this ancient mountain was opened for a single person, right? Emperor Yu laughed. The complete secret art is right in front of everyone. You are an immortal emperor yet you still doubt it? How laughable. I'm just casually speaking, Emperor Yu, please don't take offense. I naturally believe in Emperor Yu. If not, if it was really prepared for a single person, I'm afraid all our efforts would have been for naught. God's hand would vanish from the immortal realms once again. That would truly be a pity. Dongxing Heaven Emperor calmly spoke. The eyes of Namfeng Guhong and Emperor Qianbian flashed when they heard this. The Emperor Qianbian calmly spoke. Eastern Sage, you are boasting shamelessly again. Boasting shamelessly? Dongxing Heaven Emperor drank a cup of wine and smiled. I wonder if you still have a strand of immortal sense on him. If you do, you would naturally be able to see him one last time before he dies. Sadly, the ancient mountain is capable of destroying all strands of immortal sense. I'm afraid you won't be able to save him. Eastern Sage, as an immortal emperor, you actually want to kill a young man who just stepped into immortal foundation. I truly feel ashamed for you. Emperor Qianbian coldly spoke. From Eastern Sage's tone, it seemed that he was extremely confident that he could kill Qin Wentian. And as expected, he led the experts of the Dongshengshan Gate here, borrowing the opportunity of comprehending God's hand. He wanted to take Qin Wentian's life. Qin Wentian and the others have already entered the depths of the ancient mountain. Numerous towering peaks towered up into the sky. This mysterious ancient mountain seemed to have no end. During these days, Qin Wentian and the others comprehended many different types of energy. The number of people here also decreased, but when they truly entered the depths of the ancient mountain, they discovered that the divine essence contained within was even more profound than before. Many people were no longer affected by the ancient mountain because they couldn't sense the existence of the divine essence. They would only feel their hearts trembling occasionally, as though there was a terrifying and mysterious energy hidden within the depths of the ancient mountain. At this moment, Qin Wentian and the others arrived in front of a vast mountain rampart. There were mountain ramparts on 3 sides, and there was a narrow passageway in front of them. But before that, Qin Wentian stared at the mountain rampart in a daze. There was a diagram on the rampart, and there were ancient characters floating in the air, imprinting themselves into Qin Wentian's sea of consciousness. These ancient characters transformed into boundless energy that ravaged his body. Circulating his god's hand, the ancient characters grew clearer and clearer. His immortal foundation shone with a bright light as terrifying runic inscriptions radiated from him, unleashing a terrifying might. Boom, boom, boom. Qin Wentian only felt his body enduring the intense attacks from the ancient characters. His bones emitted cracking sounds as his body trembled unceasingly. His countenance turned pale, and as he unleashed the power of God's hand, the attacks grew more and more intense, to the point where it felt like his body was about to be destroyed. If one wants to cultivate God's hand, it's impossible even if one's physique is extremely tyrannical. One has to have a perfect physique. Qin Wentian's heart trembled. The people in the surroundings were all comprehending, and at this moment, Qin Wentian felt a killing intent. He abruptly turned, and after that, he saw Dong Xingting and Zi Yunwu leading their troops away, forming an encirclement around them. A cold light flickered in Qin Wentian's eyes. Dong Xingting and the others had been following him all this while. How could Qin Wentian not know what Dong Xingting wanted to do? It was just that he was waiting to see what capabilities Dong Xingting had exactly to act against him. There were many experts on both sides. Before the battle started, nobody knew what would happen. Now even if you want to exit, it's already impossible. Dong Xingting coldly spoke, staring at Qin Wentian and the others. Where does your confidence come from? Qin Wentian's eyes flickered with killing intent as well. How could he not want Dong Xingting to die? Dong Xingting turned his gaze to Namhuang Yunxi and the others. Everyone from the Namhuang clan, I don't wish to make things difficult for all of you. This is a grudge between us and Qin Wentian. Everyone, please don't interfere, and just stand aside and watch. Namhuang Yunxi stared at Dong Xingting. Qin Wentian's matters are my Namhuang clan's matters as well. If this is the case, I'm afraid we would offend the Holy Maiden. Dong Xingting coldly spoke. Beams of immortal light flashed as the experts from the Dong Shengshen Gate took out their immortal weapons. Qin Wentian, the experts from the Namhuang clan, as well as the experts from the immortal Qianbian Gate, also took out their immortal weapons. There were experts from all levels of immortal foundation here. Once a chaotic battle broke out, it would be extremely dangerous. Dong Xingting waved his hand as a terrifying spinning disc appeared. This disc contained incomparably complicated runes. It was so deep that one couldn't see the bottom. Dong Xingting infused his immortal energy into it, and a moment later, the spinning disc radiated a terrifying devouring light that expanded unceasingly. The demon sword in Qin Wentian's hand hummed as though it was about to fly out of his hands. Get over here! Dong Xingting roared. The spinning disc in his hand expanded as beams of silvery light shot out, gushing towards his opponents. With a swishing sound, the immortal weapon in the hands of a female from the Namhuang clan flew out, and was directly absorbed by the spinning disc. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.